Times in life, men say and do things and it backfires. Ashlee Jenae gossip from Trent pretty much backfired. We got to talk about it. That's right. I told you guys already to stop listening to Trent, but y'all still go over there for updates. Y'all keep going over there to hear the latest gossip. And in the process, Ashlee Jenae is not getting her justice because these YouTubers, they continually lie every single day. So now we're going to talk about how Trent's gossip backfired on him because TMZ published some info that proves my point about Ashlee Jenae's family. I told you guys they can't be trusted. Neither can you trust Joe. But the main group you should not trust are these YouTubers that lie every single day to keep you good people viewing while not adding no value to bring justice to Ashlee. Only on Ringo TV do you get real breakdowns regarding this case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Trent's videos and I'm going to show you how much of a liar he is. I'm going to show you how his gossip has backfired. And I'm trying to figure out why is he upset with TMZ and how much is the family paying Trent on the back end to do these videos when the entire time Trent been on a smear campaign of nothing but gossip about Joe, alleging that Joe was in Africa with a group of women, alleging that his sources told him where Joe is, even though he never revealed these sources. They claim that over 10 or 11 people been arrested in Zanzibar. That's a lie. They claim all sorts of things. Him and his gang that's on YouTube, which consists of their handler, which is an African woman named Fumi. I already told you guys, unfollow this woman. She don't care about American black women. All she do is exploit black women. And Fumi is the handler. She's the one who promotes all of these YouTubers. If you look at Fumi's latest video, I'm not sure if some of you have been following what's going on in these YouTube streets. In her video where she was reacting to Trent's video at the funeral, if you notice, Fumi was promoting all these different YouTubers. All the ones that she promoted, those are the grifters you should unfollow because they're nothing but gossipers. It's because of these YouTubers why Ashlee is unable to get the results that she needs, because videos like mine, they're not being seen by the majority of viewers. Instead, you're hearing nothing but gossip and lies every single day. And you as a viewer, you have a responsibility to recognize when somebody's speaking the truth from when somebody is lying and gaslighting you. So what I'm going to show you is the tapes to prove and show you that Trent should never be trusted. Now, I told you from last night's stream, I don't know if you guys caught the stream, a lot of truth that I put out there. Trent is working with Ashlee's family and Trent is working with Joe. He's a double agent. He's working with both sides. Both sides. Now, he's acting as if though he's against Joe. But just the other day, Trent told us that we shouldn't rush to judgment because Joe is a grieving fiance who lost the love of his life. And he said, until facts come out, we should hold our judgment against Joe. This is what he said on his previous video. So I'm trying to figure out, why is it that he made a new video? Because TMZ put out some information regarding Ashlee's mother, which is not shocking to me because I already told you guys that Ashlee's family is in on the murder of Ashlee Jenae. Y'all don't believe me. I keep telling you. I've been doing these type of stories for years. And I told you guys, Ashlee Jenae's family didn't even like her. They were jealous of her. Do you understand me? They were waiting for this day to come. This is why they're not fighting for her justice. Now think about this, gang. TMZ was blocked and booted from the funeral. Other news media were blocked and booted from the funeral. Now you would think that Ashlee's family would want that kind of media attention because that is what will bring awareness to what happened in Zanzibar with their daughter. For example, right after the funeral, the family could have been on the news. The family could have said, we want answers from Joe. The family could have said, we want her killers brought to justice. The family rejected all news media. Why? Because they want to brush this under the rug as quickly as possible. Then, on top of that, to add insult to injury, Joe releases a public statement after being notified by his attorney on what to say. And of course, they use ChatGPT to do that. So he releases his so-called love for Ashlee letter. And we all know that that letter is kind of late, but he most likely been advised by his attorney. These are the things that I told you when that information dropped. Now, today, we see that TMZ put out some info that Ashlee's mother basically left Joe McCann on red and never responded to him. He's basically saying that when Ashlee, quote unquote, took her life, that basically the mother contacted him. He contacted her back to explain, I guess, what took place, what happened, and so forth. But she never responded back to him. But yet in the media, Ashlee's family kept telling all of us that they never heard from Joe. But that's a lie. Now, we're not saying that Joe is innocent because I think he's guilty. But what I'm trying to say is that the family of Ashlee and Joe, they're all in on this together. Right now, what we're seeing is another twist in the story where now the blame game is being played now. But see, those of you that was rocking with the family, you thought they were legit. I told you, they have their own motives too. They want Ashlee's money. They want her personal belongings. These are the things that they desire. They don't care that she's underground. Well, she's not underground technically because your man Trent basically said that the family didn't even bury her. So the whole funeral was a scam. The whole funeral was a diversion to get our mind focused on stuff that don't make no sense. So I need for all you guys to pay attention to this live. Share this live, hit the like button one time because I'm exposing not only Trent, these other YouTubers, but also the family. Because based on what TMZ released, and Trent is trying to do damage control for the family because they got caught lying. That means that when the family was telling all of us that Joe never reached out, that was a lie. Because Joe said he did reach out to explain what went on with Ashlee and him. But the mom never responded back to him. Now, hear me out before you throw your stones. I'm in no way defending Joe. I think that man is guilty. I believe he unalived that woman. But I also believe that he had some help. And I also believe that Ashlee's family never even cared about her. So we got two different sides, and they're blaming each other right now. And we're in the middle of it, watching the entire thing go down. What I'm trying to do is put the puzzles together. And I don't want you guys to get distracted by these false YouTubers who are out here trying to exploit Ashlee for personal gain. That is what Trent is doing. So without further ado, guys, hit that like button. We're going to get into this content, do what we need to do, and hopefully everybody will gain something from this because this man right here is called a grifter. He's an opportunist. He's a wannabe celebrity news reporter. And he's working with Joe. He's working with Joe. I'm going to prove that to you. I'm going to show you the receipts. And another thing that I want you good people to understand is this, because I know a lot of y'all listening to all these different people. I keep telling you, turn Fumi off, turn Tissa Tails off, turn this clown off. All these other grifters that are connected to them, turn them off. None of these people are giving you information. They're exploiting Ashlee for personal gain. None of them care about justice for Ashlee because none of them is giving you guys any substantial information that can lead towards the arrest of this guy. I showed you some information that nobody on YouTube brought forth in regards to Ashlee's cell phone. I showed you a receipt of a timestamp and a date from the 12th where Willie D Live published a video. In that video, he was looking at Ashlee's Instagram page. On Ashlee's Instagram page, she was following 1,150 people. That was on the 12th. Ashlee was already dead on the 9th. But yet, if you look at Ashlee's page today, it says that she's following 1,149 people. So someone tampered with Ashlee's cell phone. And it can only be that man right there. That means something went down with Ashlee's cell phone. These particular YouTubers, they're not going to react to Ringo TV's videos because if they were to tell you that, you would know that they got it from me. So they're trying to act like they don't hear or watch my content. If these YouTubers was really about justice for Ashlee, if these YouTubers really cared about the truth, they would be telling you about these findings, which can put this man away. Now, he can hire whatever attorney he wants. All hiring an attorney mean is hiring someone that can find the loopholes in the law to make you walk. That's what hiring an attorney is for. A lot of times when y'all hear attorney, y'all get nervous, y'all get scared. Attorneys are paid to lie. That's their job. Their job is to understand the law and how they can get their client to walk free. Why you think murderers have an attorney? If he's guilty, and we all know he did it, why do we appoint attorneys for killers? Because an attorney's job is just to lie. That's their job. Understand the law enough in order to manipulate the law in the favor of their client. There's a lot of guilty people that end up walking because they had a good attorney. It doesn't mean the attorney have morals and values. It means that the attorney knows his way around the law on how to make a killer or a swindler or a criminal, a con man, whatever the case is, a good attorney who know how to lie. That's why it's called a lawyer. A liar lawyer. That's all it means, guys. So let's get into this content. Hit that like button, subscribe. Let's break down this video from Trent. I'm going to show you all the proof to know that this man can't be trusted. I know a lot of you guys, you watch him. You think this guy is the source of some sort of information. He is a grifter. And I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep my foot on his neck. I'm keeping my foot on Trent's neck, on Fumi's neck, and anybody else's neck on these YouTube streets that is lying and exploiting Ashlee. I'm coming for all of you. And I'm going to expose all of you to all these viewers know that y'all nothing but frauds. Let's get to these tapes right here, fam. Let's go.
Ashlee Jenae's fiance, Joe McCann, is a disgusting human being. And honestly, I don't know who's more disgusting, Joe, his publicist, or TMZ for running this article and making this incident all about him. And I'm glad I'm not the only one disgusted with Joe, because one of Ashlee's friends, Savannah Britt, dragged Joe on Twitter.
That's not Ashlee's friend. I'm tired of everybody calling themselves Ashlee's friend. All of these people, ladies and gentlemen, that keep coming out saying that there's Ashlee's friend. They're not Ashlee's friend. These are all opportunists. Anytime somebody die, people want to come and act like they're your friend. That's like me coming online saying I'm your friend. I don't know you personally, so that would be a lie. I'm sure many of you had people that you had to literally confront because they were out there calling you and them good friends, and you were not friends with them. But they were using your good name in order to get into certain places or get certain blessings and certain favor with people by saying, oh, I know Ringo. I know who he is. Yeah, that's my man's in them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I don't know this dude, man. Oh, I thought he said he knew you. I don't know that dude, bro. I don't know him. I went to school with him, but I don't know him, dog. Oh, my bad, bro. I thought dude said he know you, though. I don't know him, bro. But I just told you. That's how a lot of people be. But when people die, that is normally when you see all these weirdos come out of the blue because they're clout chasing off your death. And that's what he's doing. He's finding information from different people to try to put it together as if though Ashlee's friend and Ashlee this. When Ashlee was alive, did you hear of this person? When Ashlee was here, did you hear any of these people that are claiming they're her friends? Did you see any of these people in videos with Ashlee? Did you see any of them? You ain't seen none of them nowhere. Shout out to Caramel, Kimmy, Kim. I see you in the building. Shout out to everybody that's coming in. If you're coming in, guys, hit the like button. First thing you got to do. When you come to this platform, guys, I'm not here to BS. I'm not here to sugarcoat. I'm not here to lie to you. We're not doing none of that nonsense. Ain't no clickbaiting. Ain't none of that nonsense. I'm tired of you folks getting fooled by these clowns on YouTube that are always clickbaiting you and scamming you every single day so you can click on their videos. And when you click on it, they keep telling you the same thing they told you 5 days in a row. They keep saying the same thing. And they're not providing nothing that is going to put Joe behind bars. They're not doing none of that. They're working with both sides, guys. This man is being paid. He's being paid on the back end right now. And I'm going to show you every detail. Let's go.
Yesterday. It hasn't even been 48 hours since Ashlee Jenae has been laid to rest.
Live.
It hasn't even been 48 hours since Ashlee Jenae has been laid to rest. It hasn't even been 48 hours since Ashlee Jenae has been laid to rest. And Joe McCann is out here running a PR campaign to change the narrative.
He said it haven't been 48 hours since Ashlee been laid to rest. That's a lie. Ashlee was never laid to rest.
Hasn't even been 48 hours since Ashlee Jenae has been laid to rest. It hasn't even been 48 hours since Ashlee Jenae has been laid to rest. It hasn't even been 48 hours since Ashlee Jenae has been laid to rest. And Joe McCann is out here running a PR campaign to change the narrative. Also, before I wrap this up, I want to talk to you guys about the burial. And I want to be very, very careful on how I handle this. Not to give out too much information, but what I will give you is that there will not be a burial today. It hasn't even been 48 hours since Ashlee Jenae has been laid to rest. There will not be a burial today. It hasn't even been 48 hours since Ashlee Jenae has been laid to rest. There will not be a burial today. It hasn't even been 48 hours since Ashlee Jenae has been laid to rest. There will not be a burial today. There is a reason for that. For those of you who've been watching this, you do know that there was an autopsy done in Tanzania. Has been no result given to the family. We do know that the family has ordered an independent autopsy here, and we have spoken with specialists, and I did a special video covering the fact that keeping Ashlee's body as long as possible while the case is still ongoing is the best course of action. So, like I said, there is a repass, but there are some things that are going on that I don't feel comfortable giving out right now. But I just feel comfortable enough at least saying there will be no burial today.
You heard that? There will be no burial. So Ashlee was never laid to rest, as he claimed. What we're dealing with here, ladies and gentlemen, is credibility and good character. Trent don't have good character. He lies. What I'm trying to establish to you is that the man is a liar. He said it haven't even been 48 hours since Ashlee been laid to rest. She haven't been laid to rest. Her body is laying up somewhere. They never put her underground, gang.
We will give you guys more information when the time comes and when it's appropriate. I want to try my best to respect the family. Sit back, relax. I'll tell you everything that you need to know, and then I'll hand it off to you, the out louders, to let me know what you think in the comment section below. Influencer Ashlee Jenae's fiance receiving racist taunts, unaliving threats after her passing. Let's jump right into this article. Ashlee Jenae's fiance, Joe McCann, has experienced racism and received online threats after her tragic passing, TMZ has learned. Now, we are going to read this article slowly, and I'm going to break down every single element here that screams out PR, PR, PR. This article is a piece to change the narrative and give no sort of information or answer any sort of questions or justice for Ashlee Jenae. And I think it's disgusting. And the first thing here is TMZ has learned. TMZ has learned is so vague and is so open, it screams publicist.
Interesting that you say it screams publicist because TMZ says TMZ has learned. But you and your gang of YouTubers that have been gossiping and lying all this time, y'all kept talking about how you got sources in Zanzibar talking to you. Sheba claimed that she had a source in Zanzibar that talked to her. Fumi said she got a source that talked to her. You said you have a source that told you where Joe is, but you're not going to tell us. It's interesting how you guys have your sources that talk to you, but for some reason, TMZ can't have anything because it screams PR.
But just wait, I'll show you 10 other examples. Sources close to Joe tell us who's the sources.
What about your sources? You're asking who's their sources, but what's your source? You said that you know where Joe is. Everybody that is on YouTube that is a part of your gang of grifters, y'all all claim that y'all got sources and people that's giving y'all information. All these people from Africa who speak Swahili, for some reason they speak English now. Make that make sense.
Who is the sources? Are you speaking to somebody close to him? Are you talking to a friend? Are you talking to his kids? Are you talking to his wife? Where's the proof?
Where is the proof of your sources? You guys make up lies all day. You said that Joe was in Africa with a bunch of women. Where do y'all get that from? Where do y'all get this information from? That don't make no sense. You know? And you know it's even more crazy, guys? People like Trent, Fumi, they stole all of their content from another content creator that they don't even mention. I found his video. He was the one that was talking about all of this stuff about, yeah, he's out there in Africa and some white guy owned this hotel and Joe is friends with him. I found that video and they don't even mention that guy's name. That's where they get all their information from. So I'm like, hold up, this is crazy. Like, what really is going on where these dudes are all taking all this information from the other guy? And that doesn't mean that the other guy is right. My point is, these are content scavengers. They go and they hunt down content creators that have original thoughts, and then they take what they post and they regurgitate it and spin their own thing. But what they're doing with this Ashlee case is this. They're making up lies because they know you, the viewer, are interested in this case. A lot of y'all want to see justice for Ashlee. Sincerely, you really do. And what they're doing is they're taking advantage of how you feel. So every day they come with a new update. We got a new update. My source in Zanzibar just told me. How could your source in Zanzibar tell you anything when they don't speak English? They speak Swahili. So how they talking to you? Sheba said somebody called, asked her, we need to get on the phone with you. How you going to talk on the phone from Zanzibar and you speak Swahili? That doesn't make no sense. So all these people are lying. And beware of the faceless channels. The channels that nobody come on camera. If you don't see them on camera, you turn that crap off. Because you're either listening to AI or you're listening to somebody that don't want nobody to see them. You understand? Be very careful with this guy, fam. I'm telling you, this man is a double agent. He's being paid by Joe and he's being paid by the family. And I'm telling you, straight up, don't trust Ashlee's family. They already been compromised. Listen, the rabbit hole goes deep. Because this man literally was at the funeral. What content creator pull up at a funeral with cameras on? Who does that? If this is supposed to be a funeral, you don't show up at nobody's spot with cameras on. If that was my family, I saw this clown there with a camera on, we fight straight up and down and punch him in the face. Because you don't supposed to be there. You're not family, you're not friends, you're not no kinfolk of mine. So what are you doing on YouTube filming my family when we supposed to be over here grieving? You understand what I mean? So this dude trying to get rich off Ashlee's blood. That should listen, that's supposed to bother you to know this man have a camera on at a funeral place, clout chasing off a dead woman. That so-called funeral should have been private. Nobody supposed to be there. Private. You understand? But no. The family claimed that it was open to the public, but they rejected Joe. Why would you reject Joe if Joe got all the answers you need? Now, I'm going to throw something out there, gang, so make sure you catch it the right way. I personally believe that Joe is a murderer. I really do. At the same time, let's play devil's advocate for a minute. What if Ashlee family is the ones or are the ones that hired the hit on their own daughter? Park the car right there and just follow me for a second. What if they're trying to frame Joe? Because I'm trying to put this puzzle together and I'm trying to figure this out. If Joe was with her and for whatever reason, everybody is blaming Joe, and I do believe that Joe is guilty. At the same time, why would the family not want Joe to come to the funeral if they want answers? Why would the family reject TMZ, which is a media company that could get the word out there? Why would Ashlee's family reject other mainstream media companies that could get the word out there? They could give a public statement. They could say, we're heartbroken. We want justice. We need Joe McCann to be brought in for questioning. We need our daughter's cell phone. We need our daughter's personal belongings. The family didn't use none of those resources that was given to them for free. They rejected the media. To do that is literally the S word. Y'all know what S word rhyme with homicide. Just think of the S word. You need all the media coverage you could get if you want justice for Ashlee. But they rejected the media, which means they don't want nobody involved. That doesn't sound like a family that's fighting for justice. So again, I'm trying to put this together, gang. Yes, Joe looks guilty as heck right now. But what TMZ dropped today speaks volumes. Because what Joe attorney is basically saying is that when this initial thing took place, Ashlee's mom contacted Joe and said, what's going on? Joe responded promptly by saying, hey, X, Y, and Z, woo, woo, woo. He's waiting for Ashlee's mom to respond. She never responded. Never did. Left him on red. But then Ashlee's mom told the media, we haven't heard nothing from Joe yet. But the truth is, Joe been waiting on the family to respond to him. And because the family been moving funny like I told you, that's why Joe stayed quiet. Because he was already being crucified on social media. Now, let me just make this very clear. Again, I got to keep on emphasizing this over and over and over. I believe Joe is guilty. I believe his hands is dirty. At the same time, he hasn't been charged yet. He hasn't been brought in by the feds yet. So there is a lot of publicity with this story, and there's a lot of hate that comes with it. Was TMZ lying when they put out information that Joe is receiving death threats, that Joe is receiving racist hate and all this other stuff? They're not lying about that. Go read the comments. Go read the comments on various forums. It's a lot of stuff being said about Joe. And rightfully so, people are mad because they want justice and they believe he did it. So TMZ is not putting out false information by saying, oh, he's not receiving no hate. He is. But what Trent is doing is Trent is acting as if though he don't know. He's acting as if though he don't see that Joe is in fact receiving this level of hate, racist comments, and all sorts of stuff is coming his way. And at the end of the day, I don't really care what he getting. Because at the end of the day, as a man, if you know you innocent and you know your woman was unalive, I didn't see no remorse. I ain't see that man come forward. I ain't see that man come to the public and say, hey, I'm innocent. I didn't do this. That man just stayed quiet. That spells guilty to me. So no matter how you see it, I see a guilty man. But I also see that the family is involved too. The family have their own ulterior motives as well. So it's not just Joe that's guilty. The family is up to some dirt too, because they never took that GoFundMe money and went to Zanzibar like they told you they were going to do. They didn't go to Africa. They never took that flight. So what's good? Where's Ashlee's phone? I told you guys, Ashlee's phone was tampered with. I show you the proof in about 3 different live streams that I did. I made a whole playlist with all my videos. I think this is probably live stream number 20 right now. I already cracked the case already. You understand? Not only is Joe guilty, Ashlee's family is involved. They got some dirt on their hands too. They never went to Zanzibar. They never went to the hotel. They never picked up the clues. I already told you the body of Ashlee already been compromised because they did an autopsy out there and they never gave them the results. So how could the family have a new independent autopsy if they didn't even get the first autopsy? It don't make no sense, guys. Somebody is doing something evil. For all we know, Ashlee's organs been compromised and sold on the black market for the highest bidder. And the family could be involved in that. Y'all don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes on this evil. Let's get back to the content. Hit that like button.
Facts and receipts. Sources close to Joe tell us is language from a PR representative. 100,000%.
Where's your proof of that? You see what I mean? We could play that game all day. He's saying this is a PR this and a PR, all this other nonsense. But yet, when you ask him where's the receipts on that, he don't got none of that. Let's go.
Sources close to Joe tell us ever since Ashlee's passing while on a trip in Tanzania in March, Joe and his family have received an overwhelming number of unaliving threats and messages of hate. Now, we know since the beginning of this, if anybody who was getting any sort of hate when it comes to racism was Ashlee.
Wrong. Ashlee was not getting racist hate. Ashlee was getting a lot of hate from black men. Let's call it what it is, Trent. The hate that Ashlee was getting was not racist hate. She was getting a lot of hate from black men that hate black women that like white men. If we're gonna speak the news, we gotta be honest. The hate that Ashlee received on social media was coming predominantly from black men. Black men who have nothing better to do than hate black women. So what she like white men? It has nothing to do with me. I got 4 daughters. So when it comes to daughters, when it comes to women, I'm not going to play that, oh, let's go and bash Ashlee because she had a white man, woo, woo, all this other nonsense. I don't care. The point is, he's saying that Ashlee was getting racist hate from racists and all this other mumbo jumbo. Listen, that wasn't the case. If you check out these YouTube social media streets, predominantly black men and a few black women, but predominantly black men were bashing Ashlee, celebrating her death, saying she deserved it, saying she had it coming, all of that type of stuff. And guess what? Those videos are still on YouTube. You would have thought that would have been taken down. But no, them videos are still on YouTube and they're monetized.
We have shown you multiple tweets from Ashlee and videos about her liking white men.
But you're the same one that was talking about her mama being with a white man, marrying a white man. You were talking about the funeral, about, oh, all these white people are at the funeral, like you surprised. So what about that? Like you're double-minded. It's like you saying one thing, but yet you were looking at the white folk that was at the funeral. Like this stuff is bugged. Like you bugging out, bro. Like you literally you something wrong with your brain. You was like, yeah, the white people that was at the funeral, they were friendly, as though they weren't supposed to be friendly. Like, what are you doing? Like, all of that is racist. Let's go.
We have moved on past that because we know that that was something that she posted years ago. And more importantly, it's not important right now. It doesn't matter if she like white men, brown men, Mexican men, aliens. It does not matter because we need justice and we need answers and we need questions.
But you're not providing no justice. All you do is gossip. You're a gossiper. That's what your platform is all about, is gossiping about Ashlee's death so you can make money all day. My job is to expose you and expose all you grifters out there that just want to get paid off her debt. All you do is spread rumors, lies, and manipulate your viewers into thinking that you got some sort of information that's coming in. You have not went to the feds not one time. You talking about you got all this info on how Ashlee's family only watch you. Why would Ashlee family need to be watching you? For what? There is nothing you got that they need. They got what they need. Didn't they hire an investigator? Where's that investigator? I thought they were investigating this case. Who are they investigating if it's not Joe? Have the family of Ashlee ever come forward and says, we believe Joe McCann murdered our daughter? They never did. You know why? Because there's a lot to lose for just coming out and saying that. They got to play their cool because they know that Joe got money too. And they're not trying to mess up the play that they got going on. They're trying to get a hold of Ashlee's money first. And they're trying to see if they could get some money out of Joe later on. What they're really looking for is for Joe to settle. This is what a lot of y'all don't understand about this play. What the family is really looking for, gang, is money. They're looking for one of them situations like what happened with Diddy, how Diddy was on trial, and then he ended up settling with Cassie. Gave her what? I think he gave her like what? 10 million. I think was it 10 million or 20? I'm not sure, but I know the hotel gave her 10, and probably Diddy gave her probably 10 or 20. I'm not sure exactly how much the number is, my bad. But when you look at all these cases where women come forward saying this man abused me, he drugged me, he violated, they don't be even calling for the man to go to prison. They want money. So what the family of Ashlee is looking for is to apply pressure in hopes that Joe will submit and say, look, I don't want no smoke. I don't want no problems. I'll settle with you guys for the damages. Here's some money behind the scenes. That's what they're really looking for. Because if they're looking for prison time, they would use the media resources that have been given to them for free. If TMZ pull up at your funeral, that's your opportunity to take advantage of those resources. If ABC News, Channel 5 pull up and they want to talk to you, that is your opportunity to get the word out. Because they'll ask you, who do you believe unalived your daughter? And they can say, we believe her fiance did. We really do. We believe that somewhere in Zanzibar, other people were involved in the killing of our daughter. And we need the help of the United States, the FBI, and other resources to get involved with this case. How come the family didn't use none of that, guys? We didn't see the family cry not one time. We didn't see the mama cry. We didn't see the father cry. We ain't seen nobody shed no tears for Ashlee. Some of you out there probably shed tears for Ashlee, and you don't even know Ashlee. But her story reminds you of Kenneka Jenkins, Shanquella. It reminds you of all these different women that have been unalive and got no justice in return. Look at all the black women that got shot in the face by the cop for just saying, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. And the man unalived her for just saying, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. And yet, you got this man here posting videos every day, gossiping. Ashlee haven't even been put to rest. Her body is sitting up in some morgue somewhere in some dark room in a bag. What's the point of doing her makeup if you got to send her back in a room somewhere? So Ashlee's body is sitting there being used and abused by a family that's looking for money. They're not looking for no justice for Ashlee. They're looking for money. That's what they're after.
So when this first broke, there was a couple of black men and even black women that were like, oh, we're not going to give
my coverage of Shanquella is on my channel. Look for the playlist. Look for the playlist on Shanquella. Look for that playlist.
The attention because Ashlee's out here having posts and making videos about her loving white men and how black men wake up every day and disrespect black women, etc., etc. I am only bringing it up to remind you guys that I have never, and I've been following this since day one, I have never seen anybody online dragging Joe or saying anything about him being a white man with a black woman.
That's a lie. Listen, I could go find 1,000 receipts right now. But the thing is, I'm not here to waste my time focusing on that because I don't really care about all of that. Because rightfully so, people are going to be mad. People are going to be pissed. People have said a lot of stuff about Joe. And it's all on social media, primarily on Instagram. A lot of people are saying a lot of dirt. And rightfully so, people are angry. You know why? Because Joe went on a hiatus, stayed away when we have this black woman that was unalive in a hotel room. Up to this point, we have not heard Joe come publicly and says, my baby would not unalive herself. I was in love. We was madly in love. We was going to get married, have some kids. There's no way she would take her life. Joe believed that Ashlee took her life because he's the one who unalived her. Do you understand me? And I'm the one who said this in my video when I reacted to his that he published on social media. Now, Trent saw my video. He started to regurgitate the same talking points that I already put out there. I'm the one who said, why Joe haven't come forward and speak on the fact that they claim that she took her own life. How come he didn't deny that like the parents did by saying, we don't think she would do something like that? Joe never did that. I made it very clear that in Joe's letter, he never talked about what happened with the fight, why this happened, what was going on with the hotel, what's with the secrecy, what did the police ask you for in Zanzibar? How could he cooperate? He speaks English, they speak Swahili. That the language barrier is going to be difficult, even with translators. It's going to be difficult. Why would they use Joe as a witness? A witness for what? How could he be a witness if he wasn't there? I thought they had him in another room. How could he be a witness? Are we looking for somebody else that committed the crime? What about the cameras? How come Joe, with all his money, how come he didn't put for the family of Ashlee to come down to Zanzibar? How come Joe didn't put up his money to get the footage from the hotel if he was already in Africa? Joe wasn't fighting for Ashlee's justice because he don't care, because he's the one who did it, or he hired somebody to do it. You understand what I'm saying? So he's going to go lawyer up right now. Now think about this, fam. Why would Joe even have an attorney right now? Because he's guilty. That's why. Because here's the thing. He was never charged with murder. He was never charged with nothing. The feds didn't talk to him yet. So why he have an attorney, and why is it that TMZ put out his attorney's name? Why? Because he know he's nervous. Time is running out. So he's trying to lawyer up right now. And that's the reason why they told him to put out that public statement, which was actually written up and put together by ChatGPT. Because the way it was formatted, you could tell it was scripted. It was scripted to fit the way they want you to feel like he was in love and he cared about Ashlee. His actions don't align with his letter. That his actions do not align with the letter that was released. So we know it wasn't from the heart. That man never loved Ashlee. Something happened that we don't know about. We can speculate, we can say this, we can say that. But at the end of the day, this man here is a liar, a manipulator, and you're going to learn more. Let's go.
At all. Case in point of why I believe that this is a paid advertisement from Joe and his people and his publicist and his lawyer to try to change the narrative, to try to switch the conversation to Joe and make us try to feel sorry for him. Yesterday, he put out a letter, a love letter to Ashlee. Sorry, not yesterday. He put it out the day on Tuesday, the day of Ashlee's funeral. I read it to you guys yesterday. I broke it down. I will pin that video in the comment section so you guys can check it out if you want.
See, he wants you to check out his video so he can make money on YouTube. That's all he wants. When he tell you to go check out the video, he want the money. He don't listen. If you want to check out the letter, go to Joe's Twitter and go look at the letter. Let's just save it like that. Oh, go check out my video. Yeah, so you can make money. Just tell the people to go to his Twitter so they can check it out. No, you want money. See his face? He want money. That's all he want, guys. Let's go. Because here's the thing. He was defending Joe the other day. He was telling us we shouldn't rush to judgment, that we need to wait for all the facts to come in before we judge. He's playing double paper, guys.
But ever since Ashlee was laid to rest on Tuesday,
she was never laid to rest. He's lying again. She was never laid to rest.
Put out that letter, and he's now looks to me, in my opinion, paying off TMZ.
In your opinion, you're here saying that Joe is paying off TMZ? What? Paying off TMZ? Where's your receipts on that? Those are strong words, strong statements. Paying off TMZ? No, TMZ is putting out information because that information gets people talking. But you're alleging that Joe is paying TMZ. But how much are you getting paid? How much are you getting paid from Joe? How much are you getting paid from Ashlee's family? Because you claim that the family was bigging you up, that you are the only YouTuber they choose to watch for Ashlee Jenae coverage. So how much they paying you, Trent? How much they paying you to shape public opinion? How much? How much are they paying you? Are you getting paid by Fumi? Because I believe Fumi is your handler. The African woman, I believe she's your boss. Because she promotes you like never before. My goodness. That woman keep promoting you, bro. All your subscribers is coming from Fumi. She's the one that's promoting all you fake YouTubers.
To help him change the narrative. She was just laid to rest 48 hours ago. There will not be a burial today. There will be no burial today. There will not be a burial today. There will be no burial today.
You hear that? When he was at the funeral, he made it very clear that the family said there's not going to be no burial. So Ashlee's body never went in the ground. So she was never laid to rest, guys. Her body is sitting somewhere in some room, rotten. They're doing her dirty. That's right.
Told you guys yesterday she was not buried. Nobody knew what was happening. I have made videos of, why are you burying Ashlee so quickly? There's reasons to keep her around. Well, we found out yesterday that yes, there was the wake and the funeral, and that we all went to the repast, but Ashlee was not buried yesterday. She was just laid to rest 48 hours ago. And because he's a crypto guy and all about his money, and nobody wants to lend him money anymore, nobody wants to give him money anymore, nobody wants to invest in him, he's out here spending millions upon millions of dollars.
Think about this, guys. They told you that the family did an independent autopsy already. If that's the case, why didn't they bury Ashlee yet? What kind of rituals they're doing with her body right now? What kind of experiments they're doing? What are they doing? And here's another thing, because Trent is not giving you the real information. That funeral was a closed casket funeral. That man never even seen Ashlee. He lying. Because if it was a public, here's the thing. Watch this. Funeral with Ashlee. Where's the media? No media coverage. No news station saying nothing. Nobody's saying nothing. For some reason, he's the only reporter at the funeral. You know why? Because he's working with the family. He's working with the family. It was a closed casket funeral. I don't even believe Ashlee was there. You know why? Because he himself said that Ashlee's parents never spoke at the funeral. Nobody spoke on behalf of Ashlee. And I'm sure many of you been to funerals where you cried, you went up to the podium thing, you spoke about that relative, and it's tough when you go up there. It is a tough thing to do when you're standing in front of all those people and, you know, you got to talk and whatnot. And sometimes your family force you up there, like, go on up there and talk about your uncle or your mama, or whatever the case is. And people be crying and it'd be a mess. In this case, Ashlee's mother and father didn't even go up to talk because they don't care about Ashlee. And in my opinion, she was never there. I don't think the body is even there, fam. I think they're lying about all of this. You understand? Meaning they had the funeral, but the body, watch this, the body may still be with the people that are running that autopsy. Because if they already did the autopsy, right, then they're awaiting results. There's no need to have the body anymore. So if they had the funeral, why they ain't put the body underground? It's because the body was never in that casket. The body is still with the people at the morgue, people at the place doing these tests. You understand? That's why the family didn't get up to speak, because they know she's not there. They know that already. Let's go.
to change the narrative. He's out here spending millions upon millions of dollars to change the narrative.
What?
He's out here spending millions upon millions of dollars to change the narrative.
Millions of dollars. Where's the receipts that Joe is spending millions and millions of dollars to change the narratives? That's a lie. You just made that up. That's what I mean. Like, he makes up stuff as he go. Why would Joe need to spend millions of dollars to change a narrative? We the people already believe he's guilty. That ain't changing nothing. See, here's the thing, fam. Once social media believe you guilty, you ain't changing their mind. I knew he was guilty from day one. From day one, I already knew he was guilty. And I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all thought he was guilty too. So no amount of money gonna change my mind based on what public perception is.
Know that Ashlee's parents are not overtly out here online talking to the media, trying to keep her name in the media. And some of you don't like that, but that is up to them. That is their child, not
What?
ours.
So he know that Ashlee's parents is not out here making noise about justice for Ashlee. We want results. He knows that. But he's telling you that's their daughter. So they're going to do what they want to do. Well, how are we going to get justice for Ashlee if the parents are not making noise? How are they going to get justice? They're not in Zanzibar. They don't got her phone. They don't have the engagement ring. They don't have her personal belongings, right? They rejected Joe from coming to the funeral. They rejected TMZ, rejected ABC. They rejected everybody. So how in the world are the family going to get justice for Ashlee if they basically rejected everybody? Sounds to me like they probably working with Joe too. Let's go.
I told you guys when I was there at the wake on Monday and the funeral, TMZ was there and they were banned. They were not allowed in.
Why? What did TMZ do for them to be banned? Again, if the family want justice for Ashlee and the media is there, that's free publicity. That's free promo. That's free reach. TMZ would have published the news. Hey, we're at the funeral. The family said they want answers from Joe. That would have sent a domino effect all around the world. Everybody would be talking about the public statement. They could have easily interviewed the family. It's like the family don't even want no interviews, nothing. You know why? They're not fighting for Ashlee's justice, y'all. They're not fighting for Ashlee's justice. They don't care. They crazy.
Thanks again for their family and friends for allowing me in. ABC and other news stations were not allowed in. They have decided to handle this case how they want to, because it is their daughter, and we have no choice but to respect that. Joe knows that, and now he put out that letter, and now he's paying off TMZ to promote this narrative.
He's paying off TMZ? You're going to have to prove that now. That's a strong word to say. That Joe is paying off TMZ. No, that's not how it works. TMZ can reach out to Joe just as TMZ tried to reach out to Ashlee's family. Y'all got to understand the business. TMZ tried to reach out to Ashlee's family and was rejected. So what's the next step for a media company to do? Reach out to Joe. Now watch this. How is it that TMZ was able to reach out to Joe so easy? But the family claimed we haven't heard nothing from Joe. The family the whole time was rejecting Joe, avoiding Joe. Even though we believe Joe is guilty, I'm trying to make you understand, when TMZ put out this information, they're not just going to put out information. You understand? They're putting out something to make us think. Ashlee's mom left Joe McCann on red, which means while we thinking Joe is avoiding the family and Joe is just not talking to nobody, even though that may be our initial thought, it was the family of Ashlee that was avoiding Joe. While Joe may have reached out to the mom and said, look, Ashlee hurt herself. She did this, she did that. The mother said, I don't want to hear nothing from you no more, and stop contacting him. So it wasn't that Joe didn't reach out to them. He did. It's in the report that TMZ put out. And trust and believe, when TMZ get that kind of information, receipts was shown. They didn't have to put it up online. They're not going to put out that and not make sure they cover themselves. Trust and believe that. They probably got the text message directly from Joe's attorney that shows that he did, in fact, reach out to Ashlee's family. And once TMZ saw that, it's like, oh, so the family is lying. So the family is making us believe that Joe was hiding, but what it really was the family was hiding from Joe, which made all of us look at Joe as if though he was just quiet. Now, even though that may be true, me personally, I think Joe is guilty, because even if the family don't respond to your text message, you still have a responsibility as a man to clear your name. First thing first, Joe was supposed to do is take an interview. First thing first, interview. Get yourself an attorney. Let them know, look, my fiance just unalived herself. I'm innocent. What do I need to do? Because the people on social media are crucifying me right now. And he or she will give you some legal advice on what to do. Sometimes an attorney might tell you, don't say nothing. Sometimes attorneys tell you that. They'll be like, listen, they're going to talk about you regardless. Regardless. Even if you say something good, they're going to talk about it. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, he only doing what he going to do. We already believe he's guilty. He would have to prove that he's innocent at this point. So what we need is Ashlee's cell phone. We need those cameras from Zanzibar, which they probably already destroyed all the footage. They cleaned up her room. You understand? The family of Ashlee should have been notified, and they should have never went and did no autopsy. Once them people in Africa did an autopsy, the case is already compromised, because I'm sure they stole her organs. I don't care what nobody say. I don't trust nobody out there, because there's a lot of corruption out there in Zanzibar. I already did live streams showing you an African woman telling the public that that Ashlee's family needs to take the GoFundMe money and use it to bribe people in Africa. That's what they said. Go watch my videos. It was the video that I did where I was reacting to Fumi on YouTube, because she's another grifter who she don't even have no content. All she do is copy what other people do and act like she's giving you some information.
I cannot be more disgusted. I'm sure that you guys can feel, I hope you guys feel the disgust that I have after reading this. Joe has maintained his innocence, and Joe is a grieving fiance. Let's not pass that until we have more facts. Now, I know what I think I believe, and you know what you think you believe, but until we have more evidence and facts, Joe is trying to maintain his innocence out here. And if you're trying to maintain your innocence and you just lost your fiance, you would think that some of his family members would be here. We also know that Ashlee was close to Joe McCann's children. The mom or family members didn't speak. The mom or family members didn't speak.
Get that?
The mom or family members didn't speak.
The mom and family members didn't even speak at the funeral. The beginning part to that, guys, I hope you heard it. He was defending Joe McCann by saying that Joe is a grieving fiance who just lost his woman. So in other words, until more facts come out, we shouldn't rush to judgment. That's what he told us in this video. So if he believed that, why is he now basically trying to come against Joe when he was just defending Joe?
Now, let's go and talk about where Joe is. I've seen some of the comments yesterday where it's like, oh, you have to give us information. You have to tell us. We want to know. We want to know. I do have sources that have told me where Joe is, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to tell you that.
You see that? He just said he got sources of where Joe is. So if he knows that, how come he didn't relay that to Ashlee's family? He ain't tell them. See what I mean? Who's his source? And how come he's not letting nobody know who they are? But he want TMZ to tell you who their sources are.
Just like I'm not going to tell you certain things that I've seen at the funeral or the wake. I've made a decision to respect the family, even though if I have information.
So even if he have information that happened at the funeral, he's not going to give you the people. Do you see what I mean? He was just defending Joe. I saw one of y'all in the comments. I said, wait, was he just defending Joe? Yes, he was. That's what I'm saying. He's playing double paper. Look at his face. What do you see? A manipulator, a liar. He was defending Joe on that funeral video. He said Joe is a grieving fiance who lost the woman of his life. And we need to wait for the facts to come out rather than judging Joe.
I'm only on page 1. let me just calm down a little and get to the rest. But this is just disgusting. All right, let's go to the next page. We're told the situation is particularly hard on Joe because the insinuation that he had anything to do with her passing hurts him deeply. In his letter yesterday, he talked about them wanting to have kids and get married or whatever. He didn't talk about anything that happened. And even if it was self-unaliving, he didn't go into those details.
See how he's copying everything that I said in my video, guys? Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean about how these YouTubers steal the things I already done talked about? Because remember, I covered Joe's letter before Trent. So he saw my video. And he's literally regurgitating the same things I already said.
He didn't talk about that hurt. He didn't talk about that pain. And why did he take so long?
All of this I said, why he took so long.
Say something. You're so distraught. It took you 3 weeks to say something?
Well, again, to play devil's advocate, the reason why he took 3 weeks to say something is because social media is pretty much crucifying him right now. Like, if you were to ask the entire social media, do you believe Joe McCann is guilty of murder? 99.9% of people would say he's guilty. The majority would say he's guilty. So once public opinion of you is that you're guilty, do it really make sense to say anything? It don't make no sense to say anything. People already done believe what they believe. Have you ever had somebody lie on you and the lie spread and it's like everybody believed the lie? And it's like no matter how much you try to defend yourself, it's not even helping. Matter of fact, it makes it worse. You try defending yourself because if somebody put out a lie, now it makes you look guilty even more. And it becomes difficult. So in my opinion, even though we believe Joe is guilty, the best thing he could have done is just stay quiet and find an attorney, find out what his options are, and see what needs to be done. But again, if he committed this crime, in order for him to serve that time, it's not going to be just because we, the people, believe he's guilty. We, as a community, must have information that can be used against Joe. And this is why throughout my research and my investigation, I have pointed out many discrepancies, many issues that can point towards Joe. Primarily, the fact that they were never moved to separate rooms. That's a lie that they put out in Africa. I'm the one who told you this first. That is when Sheba stole my content and basically claimed that somebody from Africa tried to contact her and tell her that Joe and Ashlee was never separated into different rooms. That was a lie. She got that from me. You know what I mean? And I was never contacted about that. I'm just using my own brain because the official story claims that the hotel came to Ashlee's room, right? Ashlee asked for a charger. They gave her the charger. Ashlee said, come back in 10 minutes because I may need something. They came back in 10 minutes. The lights was off, and they proceeded to say, well, you know, the lights are off. Let me go use my emergency key. And they opened up the door, which to me is a violation of privacy, because if you see her lights off, she could be in the room having sex, she could be in the shower, or she could be just asleep. So why would hotel staff use an emergency key to get into her room? That very same emergency key and staff member could have been the one that unalived Ashlee. So that particular person who did that, we need to bring that person in for questioning to know why you went into her room and for what reason. Because if the lights is off, then how about giving a phone call or whatever the case is? And another narrative that they put out there is that the hotel claimed that Joe McCann was the one who notified them that Ashlee was dead. So there's two different stories. So both Joe is a suspect and that hotel staffer that went to the room, they're a suspect. Then we got to look at whoever's in control of the cameras. They're also suspects. Then we got to factor in the lie that claims that they were in separate rooms. If they were in separate rooms and Joe was 10 minutes away, how could Joe enter her room if he got his own room with his own key? Why would the hotel leave Joe with the very same key to get into Ashlee's room to discover her hanging herself? You understand? And how could Ashlee hang herself on a door? Not possible. In order for that to happen, you would have to be knocked out, drugged, so that your body weight and the velocity of your weight can cause pressure and block air if you are hanging yourself. But just to be normal, that's like me. I'm here and I'm decide, I'm gonna go hang myself, put a little rope around the door. I'm 6'1", 6'1", and I'm gonna hang myself on a door. How am I gonna do that if I'm here right now? Like, how do I do that? There's no way you could do that. You would have to be drugged. Your hands would have to be tied. We would have to put you in an awkward position where you're unable to fight. Because if not, your body will fight for survival. And you'll be like, man, heck no, I ain't doing this, man. I'm done. I ain't hanging myself. So Ashlee could not have possibly hanged herself on no door. It makes no sense, guys. It makes absolutely no sense. Then we got to factor in her body weight. How much did Ashlee weigh? Because when you think about a door in Africa, I'm pretty sure those doors are weak. You try to swing on a regular door, that door gonna break off them damn hinges. So when you think about this story, it makes no logical sense. And another thing is, if Joe was 10 minutes away, right, and had his own key, right, for his room, why would the hotel leave him with an emergency key or the same key to get into the room? That would be negligence on the hotel. Why? Because the hotel never contacted the Zanzibar police so that they can now document the domestic violence disturbance. Excuse me. So if Ashlee was unalive and Joe found her and was able to enter her room, who's to say Joe didn't kill her? So these are all issues with this story that needs the FBI involved, because again, there's a lot of corruption in Africa where you can bribe them with money. Joe has money. So Joe could have bribed them already in order to get himself to go free. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at this whole story, and then we factor in the fact that the parents received the body late, right? The organs already been compromised by Zanzibar medical officials, right? So we don't know if the organs are intact, if they were removed, if old organs was put back into her body and given to the family, so that now when the family do their own independent autopsy, because there's old compromised organs in her body, now that autopsy will come back with a result that is not in favor of what the family believe. So we don't know what is going on because the body was already tampered with. And now the icing on the cake is the information that I brought to social media that none of these content creators were able to discover. In my research, I showed proof 100% receipts with accuracy that Ashlee's cell phone was tampered with by Joe McCann, because Joe McCann is the only one who can have access to that phone. Willie D Live published a video. He don't even know because he didn't do the research either. But I had to credit the source because that's how I do. Even though I don't agree with that content creator, I still got to credit the source. That's called good business. In his video, he was reviewing Ashlee's Instagram page. The date of his video published was on the 12th. So now on the 12th, he's looking at the video and whatnot. He showed the people she was following. She was following 1,150 people. Ashlee was already dead on the 9th, reported. You understand? His video was for the 12th, right? So now, when we look at that, we're probably wondering, okay, she had 1,150 people that she was following. You go to Ashlee's page now, it says that she's following 1,149. So somebody tampered with her phone. Somebody. So we need the FBI to locate Ashlee's phone, all phone records, emails, text messages. We need all phone messages from Ashlee's mother phone, text messages, emails, voice notes, video calls, video chats. We need all of that. We need Joe McCann's cell phone, text messages, emails, who he called after the so-called alleged murder. We need to know what phone calls went out and all incoming phone calls. We need manuscripts of everything. We need all of these things documented so that the investigation can go on who Joe called after Ashlee was unalive, who the parents called when Ashlee was unalive, who was visiting whom, and so on and so forth. We need the investigation that was going on in Zanzibar because he was questioned by local authorities. What did they question him about? That information needs to be public at the end of the day. Where is the autopsy from Zanzibar? Where is that autopsy? I thought they gave one. Okay, where's the results? What happened to her body? Was she drugged? Because if we're going to look for, listen, what is the point of having an autopsy? To find out, how could she take her own life by hanging herself on a door? First thing we need to find out is, was she drugged? Was she drugged? Was she strangled? These are the type of things that we need to understand. So for the life of me, I'm trying to figure out, why is it that Joe McCann, how come he haven't put together an investigation on how his fiance ended up unalive? And why is Joe believing the official story so quickly rather than believing that his woman would never do such a thing? That makes him guilty and it makes him a suspect. This is why a lot of these YouTubers hate me, because I use my brain, because I'm smart and I'm putting the whole puzzle together. The only thing that I agree with the parents on is the fact that they believe that there's no way she would take her own life. That's the only thing from them that I agree with. But the family of Ashlee is moving kind of funny, guys. They're moving very funny. You guys gave them $64,000. They never took that trip to Africa. They never went. They told you that they were preparing to get that trip to Africa. A lot of people was like, oh, it's going to take them a long time. They got to get visas. They got to get this. They got to get that. That's untrue, guys. When you have a loved one that died, right? When you have a loved one that died, you can get emergency visas. You can get emergency flights to Zanzibar, because all you got to do is provide the receipts and the facts and the documentations that your daughter died overseas. That given to the the embassy. You get their approval. You get the approval of different officials in Africa. They'll have you on a plane right away because it's an emergency. You understand? So all of that, they need a visa stuff. That's baloney. Yes, you do need one. Don't get me wrong. But in a case where there's a death and there's an emergency, all you got to provide is the documentation that you are the parents of the woman in question that died, and you will be granted access. But the parents never did it. And we question that. Ashlee had a net worth of up to $1 million. You understand that? She drives a nice Mercedes-Benz, designer clothes. She was living her best life, celebrating her birthday, just got engaged. She had a following on social media. She was happy. Why would a woman, 31, attractive, youthful, had plans and wanting to be a mother and married, decide that she want to unalive herself? Nah, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. You know what I mean? Look how they did Sandra Bland. All these black women. Look how they do these women. You see what I'm saying? How you get pulled over, then you end up dead. How many times have we seen stories like that? Black women get pulled over, go to jail, end up dead. What? No, somebody murdered them. You understand? And this is something that's happening far too often. Joe is guilty by the pure fact that he told us in his letter that Ashlee loved his kids, that Ashlee was there for his kids. Okay, why would she unalive herself if she loved you and your kids? It doesn't make sense. They did the same thing to Stephen Twitch Boss. I covered the case with Twitch. I did some of the best content on YouTube. I got a playlist of all the cases that I already did my research on. Twitch was murdered, and his wife is a part of it. I already told y'all already. And then she dropped that book alleging that Twitch was a PDF file. How sick could you be, man? And what did she do? She went off in the sunset with the new white man that she got. The truth of the matter is that man was always there. She was cheating on that man while she was with Twitch. I just dropped my water all over the place. I'll clean that up later. She pretty much was with the white man right when she was with Twitch. Twitch found out about that man. That's why he was pissed off and he went to that hotel. Something went down at that hotel. There was some sort of altercation, some sort of struggle for a weapon. Twitch ended up dead. They didn't give us no footage of the hotel. They didn't give us nothing from that hotel. And normally they do. Normally they'll show us information of, okay, we see footage of Stephen Twitch Boss coming into the hotel, driving in with the Uber or whatever. They didn't give us no information because it was a setup. And the wife, no. You understand? That story, that case, man, I solved the puzzle. But they never arrested the wife. You see? So in this case, Joe McCann is guilty. I don't care what attorney he hired. I don't care. None of that stuff moved me. The man is guilty. You know what I'm saying? But the family is also guilty. This is why I say you, the people, you have the power. You have the power to bring justice for Ashlee because her family is not doing the work, guys. This man is not doing the work. None of these YouTubers is doing the work because they're not thinking logical. They're not giving key information. Where is Ashlee's cell phone, gang? Ashlee probably was recording her own death. She probably had the phone recording audio while Joe may have allegedly been choking her out. They told us in the report that she had a mark around her neck. Okay, what kind of mark? Was it strangulation? Was it a rope? Was it an extension cord? What's going on? No answers. No autopsy results. Is the family fighting for the autopsy results from Zanzibar? No. What's going on? Let's get back to the content. Hit that like button.
Oh my gosh, I'm so disgusted. It gets worse. Our sources say Joe truly loved Ashlee. Don't believe that for a second. And he'd never hurt her. Listen to this, and you see it underlined here. Or any other woman. That is a clear indication. If you thought I was being extra before, please explain to me this line. Why would somebody, you don't know, a source from TMZ, why would a source be talking to TMZ about Joe McCann and Ashlee Jenae?
And why would a source be talking to you, fool? Why would a source be talking to you, be talking to Fumi, be talking to Sheba, be talking to all you clowns on YouTube? And you expect us to believe that? I would believe that a source is talking to TMZ more than you guys. Because I know your motive is to make some quick money on YouTube. I would trust that TMZ is going to have their bases covered. So when they say a source, I really believe they got a source. Trust and believe that. Because the way they be hunting down these celebrities, it seems like TMZ is everywhere. Celebrities that be coming off a plane, TMZ pull up right on them. Hey, what's going on? You have a statement that you want to make about that arrest that you had? They in your face right away. And they'll find who you with, who your friends, everything. Schoolmates, everything. They'll look for you.
And say, oh, he's hurt, he's distraught, whatever, blah, blah. He would never hurt her, he never loved her. Oh, and by the way, he never hurt any other woman. Give me a break. This is a PR campaign to change the narrative of Joe McCann. Well,
listen, whether it's a PR to change whatever you want to case, whatever the case is, I need for folks to understand that in order for Joe to be arrested for murder, there must be evidence. We got to stop the bullshitting. All of this back and forth, video for video. Trent said this, Ringo said that, that one said this. Where the fuck is the proof? Where's the proof? Where's the evidence? If there's no investigation to pull up the receipts so that we can know who did what, we're going to be here forever, wasting time, and Ashlee's never going to get that justice that she deserved. Because Joe got money to hire attorneys. And what did I tell you? An attorney's job is to know and find the loopholes in the law so that their client can walk free. Joe could be guilty as hell. But at the end of the day, if he got the money, he can hire that attorney who will lie for him. Do you know how many attorneys take on clients that they know their client is evil? They know their client is guilty. Client shot the boy. The client is a racist, or the client is a murderer. And the attorney know. But the attorney gonna do their job. You know, if you hire a plumber will come to your house and do the job. Doesn't matter if you're a good person or a bad person. If you hire a plumber got to do their job. It's just that simple. A job is a job. So attorney can be hired and know you guilty. But hey, I got to make this bread. I got to get this money. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I got to get paid. So it's up to the other attorney from the family to do their job, to understand the law on how they can get Joe caught up. So this is why we need proof. We need evidence that places Joe McCann at the murder scene. This is why they give us that fake story that they separated them from rooms and put Joe over here. Why? Because they wanted to separate Joe from the crime scene, guys. It's his alibi. Hey, Ashlee took her life. I was in another room on the other side of the resort. They moved me. So I don't know what y'all talking about. I didn't do it. I was on the other side. That's his alibi. But see, now what that does for the hotel, it puts the hotel in hot water, because if Ashlee and Joe had a big fight, why the hotel didn't report this to local authorities so they could document everything, right? And possibly have an officer outside the room, right? Monitoring who comes in, who comes out. So now if that officer is there and it's on camera, because the camera's right there, if Ashlee end up dead, it's on video. Cop was right outside, watching the room, protecting her from Joe. So now we can only conclude that Ashlee took her life. Even though we may not like that, the facts remain the facts. But the hotel did not call the cops. That means that's negligence on the hotel. So is it possible that the hotel could get sued? The family would have to hire their attorney to get legal counsel on that. Because why? If the hotel didn't notify law enforcement on the domestic violence issue, that means that Ashlee was in danger and probably was fearing for her life. Probably was trying to get her phone to work. That's why they claim that she asked for a charger. I don't believe that Ashlee asked for a charger. It don't make no sense. What woman asks for a charger? Today's women have five chargers, and they have a power bank battery just in case they're on the road. Why would Ashlee need a charger? That would imply that Joe took her cell phone. That would imply that Joe took her cell phone with her charger to the other room if they were moved, right? And she had a backup phone in her bag, but she didn't have her charger. That would be the only reason for her to ask for a charger. But for a woman that is doing lifestyle content, you know her phone is her lifeline. Her phone is her business. So there's no way she's asking anybody for a charger. That's a lie. I don't trust none of the stories that's coming from Africa. None. Because there's a lot of corruption. You could be bought and paid for. You can bribe these people. You understand? And based on a lot of information I heard from actual Africans, they said that their justice system is not good at all. Like, it's not good, fam. It's not like how it is over here in the States. And even over here, at times, people don't get a fair shake. But over there, bro, you're done, man. People over there can commit murder anytime and just pay some money. And they bribe people and they get off. So who's to know that Joe didn't do that already? With his money, listen, when you got money, bro, when you got money, you can literally open up doors for yourself, man. There's a lot of people that got money and they able to buy their way into certain areas. Now, there's certain places you can't bribe people with money. Only in them countries overseas, man, you can bribe people like never before. You try that out here in the United States, it ain't gonna work. You know, you have people that they don't play that bribery mess, bro. So let's get back to the content.
Not gonna happen on this channel. Not even for 1 second. I've been in this entertainment industry too long.
You heard that? He said, I've been in this entertainment industry too long. I told you he's bought and paid for. He's been in the entertainment industry. You see that? So his content is entertainment. He's not doing no investigative news reporting. He don't care about Ashlee, guys. He care about entertainment.
I know a PR stunt when I see one.
Well, it takes one to know one because you've been doing these PR stunts all this time. So of course you know one.
Or any other woman for that matter. Joe has been more than happy to work with authorities during this investigation, our sources added. Again, our sources added, more than happy? More than happy? Really? That's not what it sounds like to us.
Again, when he says sounds like that to us, he's gaslighting you, the viewer. That's what he's doing. He don't care about Ashlee. He care about running the numbers up. You guys give this man all the views, all the clicks, and all he's doing is dragging this story and lying and gossiping. And he don't even add no value to the case, guys. He don't add no value to the case. He want you to believe he's team Ashlee. He's not. He's team money.
As Joe did not call her parents, the hospital had to call her parents. He called her parents to say, hey, Ashlee did something to herself last night, but don't worry. She's okay. She's in the hospital. And then 11 hours later, the hospital had to call her back. And we do know that he hasn't even called the parents or the family or done anything.
See, again, he's lying and he's not adding proper information to balance the playing field. Even though I agree and believe that Joe is guilty. One thing we don't want to do in this case is lie, right? It was said that Ashlee contacted her mom to tell her that her and Joe got into a fight. So now let's park the car right there. If the daughter contacted the mom and said, hey, me and Joe was in a fight, surely Ashlee's going to tell her mother what they were fighting about. So we need the confession from Ashlee's mother. What do you know about Joe and Ashlee's fighting? What were they fighting about? The mother knows, guys. She ain't tell the public what it was about, but she knows. Do you see what I'm saying? Not only that, Joe spoke to the mother because he basically told her, yeah, Ashlee did something to herself. She's stable right now. We're taking her to the hospital, and it is what it is. So there was communication. But see, now, nobody don't want to talk about what TMZ put out there that Joe brought to the public. That Ashlee's mom contacted Joe. Joe contacted Ashlee's mom with a text message letting her know what it was. But the mom didn't respond back to him, left him hanging. So Joe said, you know what? If you ain't going to respond, I'm just going to stay quiet. Why do I need to call or say anything? You don't even want to talk to me no more. You already believe whatever you want to believe. So at that point, we got to throw that into the mix, into this case, because what we could be seeing here is this. Now follow me and pay attention. Joe looks bad right now. We know that. But Ashlee's mom was looking bad because Ashlee's mom could have done something to interfere with the case, which is inadvertently making us look at Joe as if though he never attempted to respond to the parents. You get what I'm saying? Because he's basically saying, look, I text her, and for whatever reason, she never responded back. I'm trying to let her know what's going on with Ashlee, but she didn't want to hear that. She basically cut me off and went ghost. So now, when Ashlee's parents was like, we haven't heard from Joe, we just want answers, Joe already gave her the answers. Joe already communicated. They never responded back to Joe. So now what that does, because they made this public during that interview they did with TMZ and with that other news lady, it's making us look at Joe as if though Joe never attempted to communicate it with the family. And again, I don't agree with Joe. I think he's guilty. But my point is, let's balance everything out and focus on the facts, guys. Let's focus on the facts. Because what a lot of YouTubers love to do is sway public opinion to just stay focused on, well, let's just hate Joe, right? And I get it. I don't agree with him. But what I want people to do is let's be factual with the information here. Because a lot of times the family is doing some dirty, shady things. Again, the family didn't want to hear from Joe. Then the family cut off TMZ, cut off the news media. Well, how are you going to get answers? How are you going to get results if you're cutting off the very lifeline that you need? If TMZ reaches out to you, ABC News reach out to you, and your family is in need of media coverage to bring justice to Ashlee, why would you reject them at the funeral, but let this guy do reporting for you? Make that make sense, guys. Who is this guy that the family gave him a pass, but they rejected TMZ and major media companies? Who is this guy and how much he's being paid? That's the question you got to ask yourself. How is it that he get a pass and everybody else don't? What makes him so special? Come on now. Is he being used by the family to paint this narrative to shape public opinion to affect this case in a way where people just focus on Joe and nobody's focusing on the ulterior motives of the family? Because Joe could be guilty. But what about the family, man? What do they stand to gain in all of this? Let's just be honest. Is the family fighting for Ashlee's justice right now? The answer is no. Go type it in Google. Do you hear the family fighting for justice? No. I'm fighting for Ashlee's justice more than the family. Now you tell me, with all the coverage I've done on this case, why Ashlee's family is not telling y'all about my content? You know why? Because I don't trust them. And they know that I'm good at what I do. Instead, they bigging this man up because he's bought and paid for, like I told you.
And when it was first classified as a self-unaliving, we didn't hear anything from Joe. We didn't see him posting this or whatever. We didn't hear him saying, yo, I know my fiance. I know my girl. She would never do this.
Do you see him copying me, gang? Put a 1 in the chat if you can see it, gang. Listen, I tell you, these YouTubers, they copy all my news, bro. All my investigative report. I said all of this, guys. I covered Joe's letter before Trent. I covered it before him. And I said those very words. The man is literally regurgitating what I already talked about. You don't think he know I'm making these videos about him? He don't want no smoke with Ringo TV. Hey, yo, Trent. Hey, yo, holla at me, dog. You don't want no smoke with Ringo TV. Trust me, you don't. Because I'm real. And I know you fake. You're as fake as they come. Trying to milk the system off of Ashlee Jenae's death. You don't care about that woman. Why the hell you go to her funeral with cameras on? A real family that would see some YouTuber with a camera outside talking about we live at the funeral, they would have done beat your ass up, bro. Like real talk. Because that's their family and they're grieving. But that family is rocking with you because you've been paid. You're their mouthpiece. And you're doing a horrible job too because you're a double agent. You're getting paid by the family and getting paid by Joe.
Happy? No, man, it seems like he was resisting and he was happy to hear that it was classified as self-unaliving, and he thought he'd be able to just jump on a plane and get back to the US and get back on with his life. Thank the Lord for the online community, media, content creators, whatever, getting this story into the public.
Yeah, I'm the one that y'all supposed to be thanking because I'm the one that did the work. Y'all been regurgitating my content. Y'all ain't been doing no work. Y'all been gossiping the whole time. Y'all been making up a bunch of lies. Talking about, 10 people was arrested. Joe is a partner with the hotel. Joe had 10 women outside. Joe was cheating on Ashlee outside with other women. A bunch of lies. This man literally was on video the other day saying Ashlee wouldn't be jealous of Joe if he had other women. What? He also said that Joe wouldn't be jealous if a man slid in Ashlee's DM because Joe knew she was in the industry. All of these things is gossip and lies. None of us know why they were fighting. None of us know. You understand? You can speculate, but a lot of these YouTubers is putting out information as if though it's facts. And they're running with that. And then the people running with these lies. A lot of y'all said that Cardi B was paying for Ashlee's funeral. That's a damn lie. Did Cardi B show up to the funeral? No. Did you see the parents thank Cardi B for paying for the funeral? No. Y'all been watching AI videos, man. Just like I told you.
And then he was investigated. He was never happy to be investigated. Give me a break. All right, let's move on to the next one. On top of the threats, we're told that Joe has also experienced a wave of comments attacking him because he and Ashlee were in an interracial relationship. Again, there was no attacks to Joe.
There was attacks on Joe. You're lying. You got to be fair and balanced with your reporting, fam. Even though I believe Joe is guilty, there's a lot of people that was attacking him because of the interracial relationship. They were doing that. See, the thing about Ringo TV, guys, is that you got to be fair and balanced. You have to do that when you're doing any sort of journalist work or commentary. You can't be fake. You can't be one-sided. I'm not looking for an echo chamber. There is a lot of comments of people that are speaking against their relationship because of interracial relationship. You have a lot of black men are saying, see, this is what happens when you get with a white man. You have a lot of black women that they're upset. They're like, man, I tell you, man, you ladies need to watch out with these guys, these white guys. So there's a lot of comments that are coming in. And again, that's not to say those comments are wrong, but let's not act like those comments don't exist. They are there. You got good, bad, and ugly when it comes to these comments. Let's go.
You see this a million times. If anything, the white guy in a relationship gets some sort of praise because there's some women that are like, yo, these white guys come and they love these black women and they do this, they do that. And I'm not saying that there was never some sort of negative, but the negativity of their interracial relationship was 95% directed at Ashlee.
No, you're doing it wrong. Ashlee was being attacked for being with a white man, and she was being attacked by black men. Let's be honest, man. Listen, when I looked into the negative videos, I can't even react to these videos because the videos are bad. Matter of fact, reacting to the negative videos could get you in trouble because it's nothing but hate in those videos. These guys are literally saying she got what she had coming. You had black men saying they're glad that she's dead. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of cold to say because, I mean, it's not like she got up in the morning and knew she was going to die. You know, she probably trusted Joe. But the hate that Ashlee got primarily came from predominantly black men. And this is why black women were upset because it kind of reminds us of the gender war of, I believe it was 2012 to about 2015, when it was this gender war on social media between black men, black women. It was a massive war. And it's like it was kind of brewing due to this case because of her involvement with a white man. Because, you know, there was a time on YouTube when you had the swirler community, the divestors, and this is like a group of black women who they're like, look, we're done with black men. We're going to go get ourselves a white man, Asian man, whatever, whatever. And that's their group. I don't really care what these women do. That's their prerogative. But then you have the black men's side. Their job is to attack them for being with a white man. But yet these very same black men would fuck a white woman, an Asian woman any day of the week. You give the average black man in America the option to sleep with a white woman, Asian woman, Brazilian woman, whatever woman, that man gonna get with her quick. Nobody gonna say, bro, why you messing with them women? You know what I'm saying? You should stick with your sisters. No, they ain't gonna do that. They're gonna go get laid. But if a black woman choose to say, well, I'm gonna go see if the grass is greener on the other side, and she go ahead and swirl and divest, all of a sudden now she's evil and wicked. You know, that's a double standard. It is what it is. So the hate that Ashlee got, was it right? No, it wasn't right. It was wrong. You know what I'm saying? It was heck of a wrong. But don't say that Joe didn't experience any sort of hatred. Like he's enemy number one right now on social media. Like literally. Now, when it comes to death threats and stuff like that, none of that came from my platform. I don't do that, you know, but I'm pretty sure on other platforms, people probably said some crazy things. And I'm sure they got receipts of that, you know? But let's go. Hit that like button, guys.
Here he is, paying a PR person, getting to TMZ to try to change the narrative. Like, oh, poor white man. Poor white man. He was in such love with this black queen, and he had to suffer people in the comment section.
See, what he's doing here, right? What he's doing here is kind of racist too, because it's sort of like poor white man. You know, when the way he's spinning it is designed to make you agree with him, because again, we all believe that Joe is guilty. At the same time, coming from this hypocrite who is just telling us that we shouldn't rush to judgment because Joe is a grieving fiance. We need to wait for more facts to come in before we judge. Coming from him, we shouldn't even be listening to him because he's a hypocrite.
Give me a break. Our sources, say these comments often push a narrative about him, a well-off white man, unaliving his black fiance. Okay, this is what I will agree with. This, yes. But sir, you brought that on yourself. You brought that on yourself, changing the profile picture in your phone, going online and doing things while Ashlee was in the hospital. You brought that on yourself. You think anybody here is going to feel sorry for you? No.
Well, in that regard, I would agree with Trent in that particular segment, because yeah, if you changing your profile picture, you're focusing on your investments, it's like, bro, your fiance just died, bro. Like, you online doing weird stuff right now. You supposed to be doing interviews. You supposed to be proclaiming your innocence because you're a white man, successful, you got money. The first thing that people going to think is that you unalive this woman. So your number one plan right now is to lawyer up, get some counsel, some legal advice, and figure out what do you need to do. And number two, you should have been communicating with the family in some regards. In other words, hey, they're not responding to my text message. Let me make arrangements to fly them out to Zanzibar. I'll contact the embassy, let them all know that I got the family, they coming out. These are the type of things that for me are major red flags with Joe that makes him look guilty as hell, is that he never did that. Now, if he got proof that he tried to reach out to the family to get them to fly out and he was going to pay for it. Now, what if that comes out, ladies and gentlemen? Let's think about this. What if it comes out that Joe McCann did in fact reach out to the family to have them fly out to Zanzibar, but the family did not want to come out? but Joe had those receipts. How would you feel about this entire story? Even though we believe Joe is guilty, what if he did offer to fly the family out and for some reason they rejected the invitation because they want to tie him to something that could get money? Because a lot of times, guys, the family might know Joe had something to do with Ashlee's death, but they may not be pushing for him to go to prison, to be arrested. In today's day, 2026, a lot of people chasing money, man. They know he got money. So if anything, a settlement. That's probably what they're looking for, gang.
And shame on the people that do. We're also told, nobody, nothing. Oh, his wife says this, his kid says this, his uncle says this, his friends. We're also told this is AKA a PR representative. We're also told Joe is very aware these comments are being made and his pain is being compounded by racist vitriol. His pain. Give me a break. Please do me a favor and click the video below if you have not heard Joe's letter.
But they don't need to click your video. They could just go to his Twitter and read it. You know, and I understand where you're coming from in terms of his pain. I don't think he had any pain because, again, Ashlee is dead. And we don't know what kind of pain Ashlee felt when she was unalive. We don't know who did this to her. You see what I'm saying? What I have a major problem with Joe is they claim that Joe and Ashlee only dated for 1 year. If you only dated for 1 year, I want you guys to put this together. If you only dated for 1 year, when you listen to that letter that Joe put out about, you know, we were in our home, we loved each other, she was so good with my kids, she wanted children, she was very hospitable, and you know, when we entertained guests, and you think of all this romance and love and all this stuff within 1 year, it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense, fam. Just by the pure fact that you're living with each other, you've known each other for only 1 year, it's not adding up. It would take about a good 3 years, 4 years for you to even be talking like that. 1 year, you just now started talking with one another, fam. So it's not given like y'all had this real serious relationship. It's not making much sense. And especially, I don't like the fact that they keep saying that Ashlee really loved his kids. I don't like that story that they keep pushing. Where is the proof of Ashlee and Joe's kids? Where's the proof of that? Where's the proof of Ashlee? You see Ashlee with his kids and she's doing her thing and you can see her with the kids. Where is that? Because if we don't see that, something's wrong with that picture.
There was no pain in there. There was no pain. The pain compounded by I am so disgusted. According to local outlets.
Now, see, this is where I have a major problem with Trent. Now, a lot of you might agree with what Trent is saying there, but the reason why I got a major problem with it is because he told us earlier that Joe is a grieving fiance because he lost Ashlee, and how we need to focus on the facts before rushing to judgment. So for him to be rubbing it in like, oh, Joe is not feeling no pain, he's not going through nothing. Again, we can believe Joe is guilty of taking Ashlee out. But then again, if Joe is really experiencing pain, why is this man speaking with no empathy when he just finished telling us that we shouldn't judge or rush to judgment, and how Joe is a grieving fiance? It coming from him, he shouldn't be the one telling you this. It makes him hypocritical, because it's like he's telling you one thing, but he's doing another thing.
Police initially believed it was a self-unaliving and have not announced anything to the contrary. By the way, very, very important to note, that even after the autopsy and even after the police says that they're going to investigate, and even after they held Joe's passport and everything, and it's been close to a month.
Why would you hold a passport of a man who is a witness? That don't make no sense. Holding my passport is like taking my driver's license away. Now I can't go nowhere. So that means that he had to be looked upon as a murderer. You get what I'm saying? Not a witness. Why would you be a witness? A witness to what? I thought you were in another room. If you were in another room, how could you witness anything? Your alibi would stick. I was in another room, officer. So how could I be at the crime scene? Why would police want to hold me and take my passport if the hotel can prove that they moved me to another room? The only reason why they held onto his passport, the only reason why they brought him in for questioning is because Joe was in the room the whole time with Ashlee, just like I told y'all. That's why they brought him in for questioning. If he was in another room and the cameras is there, the hotel staff can confirm that we moved Joe, then Joe's alibi is I was in another room watching a Western movie. I was not in that room when Ashlee unalived herself. So I don't know why y'all calling me in for questioning, because the hotel never called the police when Joe and Ashlee was originally fighting. They didn't call the police. So why would they be questioning him now? They should have called the police the minute after they were fighting, right? That's when law enforcement should have been called in. But they didn't do that. See? The hotel tried to mediate the situation, which is a red flag and suspect in and of itself. They were acting like they're law enforcement. Because if a man and a woman was fighting, we need to know, was Ashlee being beaten? Was Ashlee being savagely beaten by this man? And she was crying out for help and nobody helped her. Who's to say what happened to this woman? The bruising on her body. And that could be the reason why they kept hold of her in Africa for so long. Because of all the bruising, the marks on her body. And they fixed her up real good before they shipped that body back. May have allegedly taken her good organs and given them to somebody else that's a rich cat in Africa. Because when somebody dies, or when somebody's at the brink of dying, they take them to the hospital to get those organs out, to put them organs in that container and preserve them for the client that's willing to buy. Trust and believe it, fam. A lot of people don't like to hear that. And then they take the bad organs and put them back in the body and ship it back to America. They don't care about Ashlee.
Away from being 30 days, they have not changed their initial finding. It's still classified as a self-unaliving. Just want to point that out. Have not announced anything to the contrary, but Ashlee's family doubt that's something she would have ever done. Not only Ashlee's family, but friends and everybody, including you and me.
And that's the reason why Joe looks guilty, is because Joe is believing the official story that she unalived herself. I think that is one of the most serious charges, is that he believed that his fiance took her own life. That's the same thing that happened with Stephen Twitch Boss. The wife believed that Twitch took his life. At no point did Allison Halker publicly say, my husband would never do such a thing. She went with the official story right away. That's how I knew she was guilty. When I initially started the case with Stephen Twitch Boss, my viewers was like, the wife is guilty. But I had told the viewers, let's not rush to judgment because we just started the investigation. And then as I proceeded with the investigation, doing my research, breaking down the story, lo and behold, the wife was looking more guilty than you could think. More guilty. Normally when the spouse or the person who they're with is going with the official story that they unalive themselves and they're not fighting for justice, red flag right away. Red flag. Because when you look at the case with Twitch, the wife, she didn't call the police. she went down to the precinct. Why? Because she didn't want the phone records of her calling in or the timestamps or any of that type of stuff. Nor did Twitch take his car. He jumped in an Uber. But yet, there's no video of this. Then she sold the house that they were in, which is another red flag. Because if you lost your husband, you would want the house to be a memory of the loving husband you had, also for your kids, because they are there. But no, the wife sold the house so that she could move with the new man. So if the truth be told, Allison was in an affair with another man. Twitch found out about it, was possibly going to divorce her, right, and leave. She said, heck no, I'm going to make sure that you're gone so I could take all your money and keep my new man. You see what I mean? Very, very diabolical. And she released a book claiming that Twitch wanted to touch her kids. That's some sick stuff she said, bro, in that book. And you folks supported Twitch's family by giving them that GoFundMe money that was supposed to go towards the investigation to take down Allison. And guess what? Twitch's family stole the money. They never did the investigation, just like I told you. I got to go back and open up the Twitch case and show you guys the new information that's out.
Joe, who proposed to Ashlee on the trip, was questioned by investigators after her passing.
And we still don't know what they questioned him about. What did the questions were? What did they question him about? Where is the public record of this?
Passport was even seized, though he has not been arrested in connection with her passing. Very important to note that he was questioned, never arrested, never charged, and they didn't say he was a suspect. From what I know and from what has been told, he's there as a witness, but they still haven't given his passport back. And I know that there's mixed reporting out there. And I told you guys yesterday in yesterday's video, I am aware where Joe is, but I have been asked not to let any of that out.
So hold up. This man just said he knows where Joe is, but he was told not to let that out. This man is bought and paid for by the elite, guys. This man is telling us that he knows where Joe is, but he was told. Told by who? Told by who? I thought you were supposed to be a content creator. I thought you were supposed to be an independent journalist. So somebody giving you orders. So you got a boss that's paying you. I told you, man. He know where Joe is. Yeah, that's why he couldn't say nothing. That's crazy, man. That's absolutely crazy. This man know where Joe is and was told by somebody not to say. That's crazy.
Click the link below for yesterday's video. I give you hints, okay? But as you all know, that
he said he'd give us hints. Guys, do you want hints or do you want content with proof? Because nobody should be giving you hints of anything. They should be giving you the content of showing you exactly what's going on. We don't got time for hints when it comes to this case. Let's get back to the content. Hit that like button, guys.
Respecting the family's wishes. Ashlee's family has decided to prohibit Joe from going to her funeral, sources tell us. Again, this is TMZ. They put out a post, I think on Monday, when they tried to access the funeral. And I can tell you that nobody from her family and friends spoke to TMZ, and nobody told TMZ that they prohibited Joe from going to the funeral.
He's doing damage control for the family. TMZ learned that the family blocked Joe from coming to the funeral. He's now doing damage control for the family. Listen to him.
Oh, did somebody on the street tell TMZ that? I don't know. But again, cite your sources, TMZ. Okay.
Why don't you cite your sources? You said that you know where Joe is. That's a strong statement. For this man to say he know where Joe is, how come he's not telling the viewer if Joe is no longer in Africa? Because for all we know, Joe is back in the United States. And he knows. And he's not telling y'all. That's effed up, y'all. For this man, for y'all to be following this dude. And he said he know where Joe McCann is. But he ain't telling you? Come on now, how can you trust him? Because the other day he told you that Joe is still locked up in Africa and they got his passport and he's detained. Now he's telling you he know where Joe is. Which one is it? The man is making up stories like crazy. I don't think this man know anything. He just saying whatever come to mind to make you think he's important. Like he got all this connections and all this information. If he do, why Ashlee don't got no results yet?
Ashlee's family has decided. Which family member? Which family member? That was around the Monday and Tuesday. And I didn't hear anything like that. Our sources tell us Joe is in Africa, so he was not able to attend the funeral. Again, sources. I haven't seen an article on TMZ that cited so many sources in my life. I want to read to you a Twitter post from Savannah Britt, who is Ashlee's kind of like PR assistant, helped her with her social media, etc. Okay, they had, of course, a relationship. I've heard reports of people saying that this is her best friend. Savannah Britt is not her best friend, but
you said she was her friend earlier, bro. Do you see all that? Are you guys seeing this? He said earlier that that woman was Ashlee's friend. Now he's saying she was not her friend. Do you see what I mean, guys, with the lies?
Helped her on the business side of things. And Savannah Britt has been credited for getting this story international, getting it to Joe. I mean, Joe was already friends with Ashlee, but kind of pushing Joe to talk about it, Cardi B, etc. Listen to how disgusted she is with Joe. Not the TMZ article, but she's replying to Joe's letter. Okay. Now, if her PR executive assistant, helper, is disgusted, just imagine how the family must have felt from his letter, and imagine how the family is feeling after this disgusting TMZ article that Joe and his.
Do you see what he's doing? He's calling it a disgusting TMZ article. First of all, I don't care about no Savannah Britt or whatever she got to say. None of this stuff is important. What we're supposed to be focusing on is justice for Ashlee, not all this gossip about what this woman think. Nobody cares about what this woman think. You understand? A lot of you heard Joe's letter, and we all have our thoughts about that letter. Hearing her thoughts is not bringing no justice to Ashlee.
And his lawyer are putting out and spending millions of dollars in trying to change the narrative.
He said that Joe and his lawyer is spending millions of dollars working with TMZ to put out this narrative. These are all lies that are being published right now. Again, we're focusing on facts. Where's the payment of millions of dollars? It don't cost millions of dollars to do this because TMZ tried to go to Ashlee's parents and it cost them no money. TMZ was going to give them a fair shake of trying to get their side of what's going on. Family didn't take the alley-oop. It don't make no sense.
2 days in a row, she was just laid to rest. She just had her funeral, and Joe's already out here. All right, let's go. It's time to make this about me.
But you made it about you. You made it about you in your videos. You were talking about how the family is following your videos and how you're the source of all the content and how the family bigged you up and the pastor bigged you up and everybody you met at the funeral and how you went to the repast and you were eating food and stuff. What about that? You made it all about you. You see? You said that everybody was greeting you about, yeah, Trent, you're Trent from YouTube, right? Yeah, we follow all your videos, man. You're the only channel we watch. Yeah? Really? That's a lie. Let's go.
It's time to change the narrative about me. Hey, crypto guys. Yo, don't worry. I'm not this evil guy. I would never do anything to her or never do anything to any other woman. Like, don't worry. Give me your millions of dollars. I'll turn it into billions for you. That's all.
He keep on trying to tie Joe's personal finance into this case with Ashlee. I don't think that that's relevant to the case. You understand? I don't care about what investments he's into, crypto, whatever. That's his personal business. I'm not pocket watching none of that. We need the proof that Joe was at the crime scene. Could we all agree that we need proof that Joe murdered Ashlee? That is what we need right now. We need her cell phone. We need the camera footage from that hotel. We need the autopsy results. We need her personal belongings back. We need Joe's cell phones, the mother's cell phone information. We need the FBI involved so they can put this together. If not, YouTubers like him will keep coming back with a new update to tell you what they got from Zanzibar, from some African in the woods somewhere in a jungle that speaks Swahili, but for some reason, he's using ChatGPT to translate everything to English. Let's make that make sense.
He cares about. That is all Joe McCann cares about is money, money, money.
That's what you care about. It's money, money, money. Your YouTube check is what you care about. You understand? So you talking about Joe, you're projecting what you care about. Joe is rich. He got millions of dollars. Men that are millionaires, guys, listen, there's some people out here that got so much money, they don't even think about money. They got so much money, they're not even thinking about money because their money keep growing. You got some people that got money in the bank, it's collecting interest, hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest, guys. They're not even thinking about money. Money is not even on their mind. That's the least of their worries. You understand? They're more concerned about they gotta be at that meeting. You understand? Or they gotta go to the doctor appointment or their kids' games. But money is not on their mind like that. A lot of you probably worry about money because you don't got millions of dollars. You gotta pay your bills, you gotta do this, you gotta be on the hustle and bustle. You know what it is. Gas prices are high. Some of y'all, when y'all go to the gas tank, you start crying. I know I do. Every time I gotta fill up the truck, I'm like, oh boy, man, again? You know what I'm saying? But people like Joe, he don't cry when he gotta go to the pump to fill up. He don't cry about that because he got money already.
That's why he wants to change the narrative. Do you think he cares what you think about him? He does not care what you or I or anybody thinks about him. He only cares about what his hedge fund, crypto, money guys care. That's it.
Do you see how he keep bringing up crypto, hedge fund, and all this other stuff? Why is he bringing that up rather than talking about the case with Ashlee? It's to distract you to focus on his money so that we could turn this into a new conspiracy theory of, well, Joe, he murdered Ashlee because of some money situation dealing with cryptocurrency. And yeah, that's why he took Ashlee out. Guys, in order for that to be so, we need proof. If Joe is not being investigated when it comes to any investments or crypto or whatever the case is, throw that crap out. We don't need that to be said in the court of public opinion. We need to be focusing on the case and the case only.
Anyways, sorry. Let me read to you what Savannah Britt wrote. Again, this is her response to Joe's letter. A lot of word salad for somebody who gave her family 0 answers for 11 hours. We see the performance, Joe. The hotel staff saw the fight. Now, let's talk about that.
Again, we're not supposed to be listening to this woman because she's not making any sense. Saying hotel staff saw the fight. Where is the proof that hotel staff saw the fight? There is no proof. All we got is that Ashlee and Jenae had a fight. But there's no proof that hotel staff saw the fight. See how one word can change everything? One word can change the whole narrative. If hotel staff saw the fight, then they saw somebody putting hands on somebody. So why Joe didn't get arrested for domestic violence? Or Ashlee, if she was hitting him, right? So nobody saw anything. There was commotion. Maybe staff members came to the room, knocked the door. What's going on? You know what, you guys, y'all tripping. We're going to separate you guys. Or they probably just separated everybody by taking one person out the room, calmed them down. Y'all going to be good for the night? Yeah, we good. We calm down. Thanks for coming through. But they never put them in separate rooms. That's a story they put out for the media to protect the hotel. Remember, that's a resort where a lot of tourism is. A lot of people come out to spend big money. So the last thing they want is for the hotel to get shut down because of this situation. Let's go.
Here, the hotel staff saw the fight. Now, from what we know, Joe and Ashlee were arguing in their room. We know that the visitors staying beside Ashlee and Joe said that it was continuous days of them arguing and fighting. And
no, you're lying. More lies, guys. He said there was continuous days of them arguing and fighting. Do you see what I mean? Do you understand how these lies just keep piling up, piling up, piling up. All we got is that they had a fight, and that's it. He's making it seem like Ashlee and Joe was fighting for days. If they were fighting for days, how come they haven't been separated for days? If they were fighting for days, why the police wasn't called? That would make the hotel even more suspicious, because these people are fighting for days, and this next door neighbor in the hotel was there for days too. So how many days they were all in the same place fighting, and nobody called police? So hotel staff members didn't come to the room every single day. There's no documentation. And if that's the case, where's the camera footage? Let's see it. Up to now, there's no footage.
On April the 8th, they went to the front desk and said, listen, this is too much. It's getting too loud. I'm worried. They came to the room and then separated Joe. So I don't know if Savannah is just...
You're lying, because you and your compadres, y'all pretty much said that, and y'all was listening to what Sheba was saying, and y'all agreed that that story never happened. And Sheba got that info from me, because I'm the one who said that they were never separated or placed in separate rooms. So now you're lying again. Which one do you believe? Because you're saying they were separated. Your girl, Fumi, that promote you every day, the reason why your platform grow with views, because Fumi is the one promoting you, dog. She promote you heavy, because she's your handler, right? So which one is it? Do you believe that Joe was moved? Or do you believe that he was in the room with Ashlee? Make your mind up on what you believe and stop gaslighting these people.
This because she's upset and just writing.
Look, we got 400 people in the building, gang. We need 400 likes. We got to get these videos pushed out there, guys. Y'all be pushing this guy's videos, and this guy lied to you every single day. Why is it that viewers support platforms that lie to you every day? That lie to you, gossip, and you push these videos. How is Ashlee to get justice off of gossip? How is Ashlee to get justice off of lies? That's not going to work in the court of law. So if you guys are looking for Ashlee to get justice, and all you do is push content creators that lie every day, like this clown, Fumi, and all these other bandits in their group, then how are people to see the real content of real YouTubers that are passionate about this story, that are making sense? You understand? Ashlee's cell phone was tampered with. I'm the only YouTuber that published this information. Do you see any of these YouTubers reacting to my videos? No, because they don't want to show you guys the quality work of Ringo TV, because then you'll just come to my platform and follow my content rather than wasting your time listening to their lies all day. You see, that's why I told you, if you see any YouTuber saying that Ashlee's phone was tampered with, she was following somebody on Instagram and they unfollow that person, we need to know who was the person on Ashlee's phone that was unfollowed. And only Joe could do it. So Joe got her phone, y'all. Joe got her phone. Why? Who else is going to get her personal belongings? Who else? If that's the fiance, all personal belongings will go to him. So he got her phone, gang. He got her phone, passwords. He got everything, man. Everything. And you know her phone, all he had to use is that fingerprint. Think about it. Once Ashlee dead, first thing Joe go do, grab that phone, fingerprint, gain access, possibly clean out her accounts, allegedly. Go to her social medias, read the DMs, find out all the juicy stuff he want to find. Ain't no telling what this man did. Now, here's the thing, fam. Watch this. You ready for this? The FBI, they can know if somebody was using Ashlee's phone after she expired. If the feds get involved and they start to do their research with Ashlee's phone, every time somebody log in on a cell phone, there's a log. There's a log that's on that phone that'll let you know that on this day, somebody logged in went to YouTube, used Safari, Firefox, whatever the case is. If Ashlee is dead, there should be no activity on her phone. So where's the FBI in this case? That's why I said this whole case is like they just want Ashlee to be this sacrifice and they're trying to let it disappear. The reason why the case haven't ended yet is because of content creators like myself that is keep publicizing this story and pushing it out there and giving you guys good information. But I'm trying to figure out why the family is not pushing for a real investigation to bring justice to Ashlee. They're not doing a thing, guys. Nothing. Why are they holding on to her body if they already had an autopsy? And where's the results? Where's the results, gang? No results yet. And when the results come, what are they going to do? What is Ashlee family going to do if the results come back and it's not in their favor? Are they going to believe the official story? Or will they reject the autopsy and say, we still fighting for justice? Joe must have did something. I'm asking those real questions beforehand because they're distracting you with all this autopsy stuff. We've been waiting for the autopsy from Africa. They ain't give us nothing yet. And now that they sent the body back, the family's saying that they got an autopsy they're waiting for too. We haven't got nothing back yet. Where's the autopsy? Come on now. They murdered that woman, blood sacrifice, took them organs, and everybody got paid.
The hotel staff saw the fight. From the information we know, even the police conference, I have not heard of any hotel staff actually seeing any sort of fight. And from what we know, they haven't told us that the hotel staff has seen any physical fighting. So this hotel staff saw the fight. Is it they opened the door and they heard them arguing? Is it physical? We don't know yet, okay? But that is a very, very interesting line. You've had plenty of time to update your profile picture. You're letting this unaliving rumor circulate to save yourself because your statement says nothing about mental health. Totally agree with that. You aren't mourning a loss. You're managing a PR crisis, and this ain't my first rodeo. Like I said, Savannah is a PR person, executive assistant.
Man, fuck Savannah, man. We don't got no time to hear nothing from her, fam. I'm keeping it 1,000, bro. I don't want to hear nothing from that broad, bro. What I'm trying to focus on is the facts that deals with this case. I don't want to hear about what that woman got to say because that woman is not the parents. That woman cannot bring Ashlee no justice. The only one who could bring Ashlee's justice is the mom and the father by fighting. This man is distracting you with a bunch of people that have no relevance to this case. You understand? Nothing from that woman make any sense. She's just giving her opinion like everybody else. I want to know what the family is doing. You understand? And why Joe is not fighting for any justice for Ashlee. If Joe proposed to Ashlee, you're going to tell me you knew that your woman that you was going to marry is capable of taking her own life? Joe is supposed to know better. And by the pure fact that Joe is going with the narrative that Ashlee took her life, that proved that he's guilty. Because for you to be a man and you propose to that woman and you believe that she was capable of taking her own life, that's the same way she's capable of unaliving your kids, Joe. So you were with a woman that was basically dealing with mental health issues. You gonna tell me you ain't seen no signs? That's how I know that Joe know what he did to Ashlee. Because ain't no way I'm with a woman and I don't know she bugging upstairs. Some of you dudes, you be with women that you know is crazy and you still rocking with them because you looking for some cooch. You know? You with a woman, you supposed to know. Just like if you're a lady and you with a man and he's slapping you around, woman, you knew that man was crazy, but you stayed with him. You knew he was crazy, but you stuck with him. That's the problem. So Joe had to know Ashlee enough to know, would she be capable of doing this? Nah. So he ain't fighting for Ashlee? I thought he loved her. So Joe, you really believe that Ashlee would take her own life? So Joe, where's your public statement of what you and Ashlee was actually fighting about? Let's cut the bullshit. What the fuck y'all were arguing about? Do you hear this clown coming on YouTube being real like me? No. Do you see him calling out Joe straight? What were y'all arguing about that would make that woman want to unalive herself? No statements up to now. What were you arguing about, Joe? You alive. So what were you arguing about? Why would Ashlee want to unalive herself when she got it going on good? She got money, expensive clothes, good health, 31, lit, celebrating. Why would she want to unalive herself, man? That don't make no sense. But this is what they want us to believe, man. This is what they want us to believe, man. This is crazy, bro. Absolutely crazy, man. Let's see what we got. Shout out to, is that Nolano? I'm not sure if I pronounced the name properly. Nolano. Shout out to you for the $2 support. And shout out to Floridine. Shout out to Floridine Rallo for the 5. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. It says, this Trent is so goofy. He a phony. Bologna dude. Joe never cared about Ashlee. The phone needs to be in the Fed's hands, Ringo. The only one telling the truth. And the thing is, the reason why the phone is not in the Fed's hand is because Ashlee family don't want the phone in the Fed's hands. If Ashlee's family were to open the door for TMZ, open the door for ABC and all these other news crews, it can crack this case. Because they would have got national news headlines. It would have opened up doors, resources. People would have been giving them favor. That's how I know the family of Ashlee don't care. They don't care about getting justice for Ashlee at this point.
Knows how to read between the lines. This is a complete PR stunt. And Joe is spending millions of dollars. I guarantee you this is not the last.
Yes. He's smiling, talking about Joe is spending millions of dollars. What are you talking about? He haven't been officially charged with murder. So why would he be spending millions of dollars when nobody is questioning him, nobody's pressing him, no news media is at his front door? What are you talking about?
Today was the letter. Today, this TMZ article, and I'm so disgusted that TMZ would put this out.
Why would you be disgusted at what TMZ put out and not disgusted by what you put out? This is the hypocrisy with you, fam. You're disgusting. You're worried about TMZ. TMZ is a whole entity with a lot of staff members that hunt information. They got a lot of connects, a lot of attorneys, all sorts of connections, and they got money. You, on the other hand, you're a YouTuber, but you're disgusted. And you're the same one who said you know where Joe is, but you're not going to disclose that information? Man, shut up.
This smells and stinks like a dirty PR campaign. And I really just hope that they don't start trying to drag Ashlee. Do not be surprised if you start seeing some negative stories about Ashlee come out.
The negative stories about Ashlee been out. A lot of black men been good at doing that. Saying that she was a stripper, she was this, all this negative stuff. That campaign already happened. It failed already. You understand? It failed because it died out. Because a lot of people just don't care. I don't care if Ashlee was a stripper. I don't care if she was in a club. I don't care if she dated the white man. When it comes to these cases, I got to be neutral. I got to focus on the case and not get personal, focusing on, well, she was with a white man. I don't agree with that. Oh, she was a stripper. Oh, she was 304. She was selling her body. Woo, woo, woo. I don't got time for that because then now my judgment about the case is going to be partial. So it's not going to be fair. And you cannot use a person's past when we're dealing with a case like this. She was murdered. So talking about her past is irrelevant. It has nothing to do with the case right now.
Some negative things that she's done because everyone is on Ashlee's side and feeling bad for her. And how do you change that narrative? You start leaking things and having people think that she's not a good person.
Well, that's not going to change my mind whether she's a good person or she was a bad person or whatever. None of that stuff is going to change my mind. My mind is focusing on who murdered this woman, because obviously she's dead. So somebody did this, right?
I think that's next what's going to come out. Hear that? Just know that it's all PR and Joe and his people. There's going to be people in the comment section saying things. If you look in my comment section, most of it is very, very positive. I saw one yesterday saying, oh, Joe's an innocent man, and giving all of these reasons why he's innocent. I feel like the bot's coming, and I feel like the bad stories, negative stories about Ashlee is going to start coming up.
You know, when he say these things, it's almost like that's what he's planning to do so that he can make new videos saying, see, I told you so. He could always make up YouTube accounts, fake profiles, and then do that himself, and then react to his own mischief and make it seem like, see, I told you guys, look what they're doing. Look what they're saying about Ashlee. Look at this article that was put out there about Ashlee. And he's the one that put out the article himself.
Keep writing your weak script. It's just more evidence for the courts. I love that. I love that. Because
I don't know why you love that. That's not no evidence for anything. Logically speaking, nothing she say is evidence. In order for Joe to be charged with murder, you need proof. And if you don't got that, he walks. I told you that already. I could agree that he's a murderer. I could believe he did it. I can see the signs. But we have to also understand that we're dealing with law, courts, and evidence. If you don't have evidence, you don't have no proof. Remember the movie Malcolm X? Remember that film? Okay. You remember the scene when he was speaking to I'm not sure if the brother is Grenadian or Jamaican. I'm not sure. But remember when he met up with the black guy, the mobsters or whatever, those guys that was connected, and he was talking, and he was like, oh, I'm going to write it down. He was like, no, file it. You file it. That way the man, him no have nothing on you. You remember that scene? He said, file it, because he won't have nothing on you. No proof. So if there's no proof to put Joe at the crime scene, then guess what? He walks. Can't do nothing with him. You could talk all day. If there's no proof that Joe murdered Ashlee, he walks. He walks. No matter how much you agree or believe he did it. That's just the way it is, man. That's why I said these fake videos with these lies and gossips, that's hurting Ashlee's case, because there's too many videos with lies all over social media. You know, you look at my playlist is nothing but investigative news reporting. Nothing but good information that could be used by the feds. They could use all these videos. It's a lot of information. Even the family could use it, but I don't trust them. I think that they're looking for money right now.
That is 100% true. And that's why he didn't write anything until now, because everything you say or do can be used against you.
Hello to everybody coming into the show. Appreciate y'all stopping by. I know a lot of you come in, you're saying hello, how you doing? I'm not trying to be rude. I'm actually working, doing what I got to do, but appreciate everybody stopping by. Hello to all the ladies. Salute to all the men that showed up to the shows. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit that like button, guys. If you're enjoying the shows, join the live feed, share your thoughts, engage with the people. Let's get this thing popping. Let's go.
In the court of law. Okay? So Joe's been very, very careful, but Joe realized that his silence and him being careful is shifting the narrative all the way to Ashlee, and he now can't work, or he can't come out, or he can't do anything. So he has no choice but to come out with this whole PR stunt and try to get himself back into good graces with his crypto buddies.
Well, I don't know why you're bringing up with this crypto buddy stuff, right? I think that is wrong that you're doing that. You're focusing on crypto. You're not focusing on justice for Ashlee. I don't agree with his public statement. I don't agree with that at all. I think that it's, it's a little too late. and it wasn't genuine. It didn't sound like it come from the heart. That's why I said it came from Chat GBT. Joe, at this point, see, here's the thing. If Joe is listening to me right now, even if you got an attorney giving you legal advice, legal counsel, uh, your attorney's legal advice, legal counsel is not better than the wisdom that I got. You might be having an attorney, paying that attorney money, whatever the case is, but a real good attorney have to have wisdom. He might understand law and have degrees and all that other stuff, but wisdom is something that, you know, you get from God. You know what I'm saying? And when I look at the situation that you're in right now, you're in a mess, which means no matter what you say or do, the public believe you're guilty. Like there's nothing you can say. Nobody gonna believe you, right? At this point, nobody believes you. You could make the best letter and say how much you love Ashlee and you're grieving, and we don't give a fuck. I'm just telling you straight. The public, we don't care. You understand that, right? So the best thing that you can do right now that will, I guess, help in any way is bringing justice to Ashlee. That's the only thing that the public care about. So if you, Joe, are not using your money, your resources to, number one, work with the family to do an investigation on what happened to Ashlee to see if there was some foul play. Perhaps maybe you didn't murder her. Maybe somebody went in that room and murdered her. How about that? See, we don't see you talking like that. Because if anything, what you should have did, and I'm not an attorney, at the same time, I'm just offering some advice. What you should have did is come out with a statement publicly like, look, my woman would never take her life. Something is not right about this thing. That's how you were supposed to be from the start. That way the public is listening. And the public is like, oh, snap, what the hell happened? Well, Joe is in the front line. He's doing interviews. He's telling everybody that Ashlee would never do such a thing. He want to see the cameras. And you see you crying. You see you showing emotion. But we ain't even see you nowhere. You ain't see you with nothing. You see what I'm saying? So the public don't like you. Let's being honest with you at Joe, because I know you watching, right? The public do not like you, and they're never going to like you, right? At this point, they're never going to like you. The only thing the public is interested in right now is justice for Ashlee. So if there's anything you can do that may possibly, I don't want to say redeem you because you're pretty much cooked. Like your public image right now, nobody likes you. The only thing you can do right now is apply some resources to the family so that there could be a real investigation, and you have to be willing to submit to being investigated yourself. Meaning, as a man who was engaged to Ashlee, you would have to submit to an investigation to prove whether or not you did it or not. So there would have to be various tests, polygraph tests, this type of test. We would need your cell phone. You would have to give up that. We would need personal belongings that you had on that trip. We would have to get samples, DNA. We have to get all these different things. We would have to bring in all sorts of investigators that really deal with this high profile stuff. You know, the type of people that deal with real murders and real issues like this. You would have to submit to all different types of things. And if you're not willing to do that, if you're like, well, I'm not doing that, I'm innocent, I'm not going with none of that, then you're guilty at this point because we don't believe anything you say. So we're never going to believe you, right? Your image is pretty much cooked. And the family would be somewhat relieved to see that you're interested in being investigated, giving up your cell phone. Ashlee's cell phone would have to be gotten. You would have to use your power and your resources to get Ashlee's cell phone because you're familiar with Zanzibar. So if the family don't have her personal belongings, it's kind of suspect that as a man who was engaged, that you haven't even taken any attempts to get those personal belongings back to the family. So you're showing a lot of neglect when it comes to the care and the decency of Ashlee. So when you made your letter saying how much you love her and all of that, that's bullshit. I already know you are full of shit. You know what I mean? Like everybody knows that because your letter and your action, it don't agree. You get what I'm saying? Your actions is speaking louder than your words. So we don't believe you. So even if you publish that PDF of that information on your social media account, we don't believe you because your actions don't live up to it. If you loved Ashlee, that love will be distributed to the family to make sure that they get answers. Even if the mother didn't respond, you would still make attempts to reach back out to them. You see what I'm saying? You would still reach out to them somehow because the family had to set up a GoFundMe. If you're a multimillionaire and you got the bread, you got the paper. This is why I say, man, if I was rich, if I was a millionaire, bro, man, the things I would be doing, I would be definitely helping people because I have a helps heart. For you to be a man that got over $45 million, because that's what I got from some research. I don't know if it's accurate, but it says that you got bread. Why you didn't come through for the family when they set up that GoFundMe? Even though I don't think the family is using that money for the case, I think they're using it for personal use. How come you didn't come through for the family? How come you didn't fly the family out to Zanzibar? How come you didn't do this? You know? How come you didn't show effort that you love Ashlee for real, for real? Matter of fact, let me do this real quick. Let me see if I could get that PDF. Let me see if I can get it. I know I have it on this system somewhere. Let me see if I could get that so that we can I can pretty much read that. And where the hell it is. I know I downloaded it somewhere. I think this is it here. Yeah, this is it. Right? Now, obviously, it's not gonna be for you guys to see it in the way I see it, because as you know, with iPhones, it mirrors the image. My image on me here is mirrored. That's why the live is reversed, right? The reason why you're able to see the video in its proper orientation is because I flipped it in the editor. So with this PDF here, in order for you to see it, I would have to flip it, but I'm not going to do that because then I won't be able to read it, right? But I'm going to read this letter that Joe put out. And I'm going to show you how this is not coming from the heart. It says, there are no adequate words to describe the total devastation, emptiness, and shock I feel after losing my best friend, confidant, fiance, Ashlee Jenae Robinson. That entire first sentence is a lie because he posted as if though Ashlee just died and he's in shock. It'd been weeks. So you're no longer in shock. So that's a lie. That sentence was put together by AI. It's a script. You're not fooling me, and you're not fooling the viewer. That letter should have been published the day Ashlee died. That letter should have been put out there. That way you and the family could get together, put your resources together, and seek justice for Ashlee. So by the pure fact weeks went by and you released this, nobody's listening to that. It says, as a father, once you say as a father, right, that's a kick to the parent's face because you're acting as if though you understand the loss of Ashlee's father and her mother. If you did, basically, you would have been communicating with them when everything happened in full. Even if the mother was ignoring you, you would have made arrangements for this, right? So it says, as a father myself, I am also heartbroken for Ashlee's parents, Yolanda Endress and Harry Robinson. Ashlee's death is an incomprehensible tragedy. See, That right there is very misleading, Joe. Because if you got on your knee to ask for Ashlee's hand in marriage, and you're going to say Ashlee's death is a incomprehensible tragedy, that means that you agree that she took her own life. That means that you don't know Ashlee. That means you agree that she was capable of unaliving herself. How could it be a tragedy if you and her were fighting and the hotel and the media said that y'all was separated? Why would Ashlee think about harming herself? It was minor. What were you fighting about that would make a woman want to take her own life? Why you didn't add that to the letter? Why didn't you add to the letter when me and Ashlee was fighting? I didn't think it would lead to this. No empathy. We, the viewer, can see that you're full of shit. Do you understand? So it goes on and says, devoted fans knew Ashlee through her charismatic online persona, Ashlee. But the person I loved was Ashlee. That right there was disrespectful, what you just said. Because you said devoted fans knew Ashlee through her charismatic online persona, Ashlee, like Bruce Lee, Ashlee. But the person I loved was Ashlee. So that means you didn't love the Ashlee that was on social media, which means you were jealous of her. You didn't like the fact that she got a lot of attention, and you probably wanted her to quit social media to be with just you. In other words, if I'm going to marry you, right, I'm going to need for you to not do this social media stuff the way you're doing right now. I need for you to just be at home, be that housewife. I don't want to see you online no more. One of them things. You didn't like what she was doing. That's why you said you fell in love with Ashlee rather than the Ashlee of social media. You said Ashlee cared. Wait. You said I loved was Ashlee, a woman who embodied the virtues of compassion, empathy, kindness, generosity, and love. A nurturing presence. Ashlee cared deeply for the people closest to her. Well, if she did, why would she unalive herself? If Ashlee cared about the people closest to her, she wouldn't unalive herself. See what I mean? Just like with Steven Twitch Boss. Why would he unalive himself when he had a beautiful family, kids, career? Everything was going good for him. He was not in no financial ruin. He had everything going for himself as a man. Why would he unalive himself? This makes no sense. He was young, healthy, in shape. Come on now. So it goes on and it says, Ashlee cared deeply for the people closest to her, which to my internal gratitude included me. She fattened me up with her amazing cooking and had a great relationship with my kids. Now, if she had a great relationship with your kids, again, Joe, why would Ashlee unalive herself if she had a great relationship with your kids, knowing that your kids would be hurt, knowing that she's no longer here? That doesn't sound like a woman that had a great relationship with your kids. Somebody murdered Ashlee. Logically, your letter makes no sense when you weigh it by logic. How many of you are Star Trek fans? How many of you are fans of Spock? You couldn't pull a fast one over Spock because everything is based on logic. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people don't use logic. They just use their emotions and they always get in trouble. So it goes on and says, each day we shared both quiet moments of reflection and the many joys of being in love with each other. Again, it sounds like a fairy tale, but the reality is it looks like you both weren't close at all. Ashlee was a loving soul, so much so that she called herself a lover gyal, as an homage to her Trinidadian roots, in which she took great pride. What Ashlee desired most was to become a mother and to raise a family together. There is no question that she would have been an amazing mom. Again, these kind of words coming from you, a man that was quiet for weeks, is not going to sit well with the public. It's not going to sit well with social media. Even the parents, it's not going to sit well with them either. So it's way too late to say these things. So Ashlee's talents extended well beyond her online persona. Ashlee Jenae, she was a creative genius, even writing, directing, acting in her own short film. Now think about that. What you're doing here is called love bombing. Love bombing. Ashlee's talents extended well beyond her online persona. Ashlee Jenae, she was a creative genius, even writing, directing, and acting in her own short film. Well, if that's the case, why would she unalive herself if she's a creative genius? If she has writing skills, directing, acting, why would she shorten her life? Why would she do that? She was an incredible decorator, always making sure our home reflected the current holiday or season. Well, you only known Ashlee for 1 year based on all the reports. So for this letter to say making sure our home reflected the current holiday or season, that's ChatGPT. You only known her for about 1 year. So how many holidays have come in 1 year? That means you would have only celebrated 1 or 2 holidays in that season. But you're speaking as if though y'all always been in a home for many years. See, when I look at this letter, logically, it says a relationship that was well beyond 10 years. This is not a man that was with a woman for 1 year. See, you used ChatGPT to formulate this script, and I know you did, because it's not making sense for a man that was with a woman for 1 year. It says she was a creative genius, even writing, directing, and acting in her own short films. She was an incredible decorator, always making sure our home reflected the current holiday or season. When you read that logically, it says that you've been with her many years, not 1 year. So this letter is a script. It goes on and it says, hosting was second nature to her, going above and beyond for the guests we entertain. Ashlee also had an encyclopedic knowledge of music, especially her favorite band, Aerosmith. She enjoyed techno and dancing, was learning to DJ, and could rap too. Well, if she did all of those things, why would she unalive herself? Why? Ashlee was an angel. Well, angels don't kill themselves, so why would she do that? Now, to the viewers that are viewing here, do you see Trent talking like me? No, because he's entertaining you with gossip. I'm giving you real content. Hit the like button. Ashlee was an angel who shined her light on everyone fortunate enough to be in her presence. Well, if she was, why would she unalive herself? There is no way to fill the unfillable void left by Ashlee's passing, and no way to make sense of this unfathomable loss. Nobody talks like that when they're speaking English. Nobody talks like that. You're using words that the average person don't just use every day. That's ChatGPT script writing for you. Unfathomable loss. All we can do is carry on Ashlee's legacy of helping others and strive to live up to her virtues every single day. This is a script because you says all we can do. Well, all we can do is not the point because I don't know Ashlee. So your letter should not say all we can do. No. All we can do is carry on Ashlee's legacy. Okay, what legacy? What legacy? Of helping other people. When did Ashlee help other people? The public don't know this. So when you publish this like this, it makes it seem like, you know, she was a philanthropist. What is that? Philanthropist? Somebody that traveled, helped the homeless. I don't know. Somebody that was just out there doing a lot of things for the people. That's not what people seen on social media. It says, Ashlee, I love you forever, Joe. See, the reason why this letter is BS is because nowhere in this letter did you say, I will be fighting for justice for you. I'm going to find out what happened and who murdered you. Because there's no way you would have took your life. We shared too much. We loved each other. How in the world could this happen? There's no way. Somebody murdered my fiance. Joe at no point have said these things publicly because he's the one who did it. If a man proposed to a woman, listen, guys, I got to keep it 1,000, bro. If a man is with a woman that he truly, truly loved, truly, truly liked, he really feeling this woman make him feel some type of way. Some of you brothers, you know what I'm talking about. You meet a lady and this lady mean the world to you. Like real talk. We're not talking about some one night stand. We're not talking about some woman you just kind of kicking it with. We're talking about you met a woman and this lady, bro, you think about this woman. This woman is important to you. You know what I'm saying? If something happens to her, it's going to affect you big time. You're going to shed a tear. Joe showed none of those signs. Joe at no point said there's no way Ashlee would take her life. Yeah, we might have had an argument, but somebody went in that room and they killed my fiance. Somebody killed my fiance. I'm not tolerating. I'm not accepting the official story. I'm not. We ain't see Joe do this. That's why I said, Joe, just turn yourself in and make it easy, man. Your money can't save you. Diddy's money didn't save him. You see what I mean? It didn't save him. Just turn yourself in and make it easy, man. Just make it easy. Because it's not going to be good for you, fam. Like, for real, it's not going to be good for you. Let me put this over here and get this video back up. So let's continue back with the video. Hit the like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, if you like my content. Support the show.
Truly can't wait until you're locked up playing Pictionary with your cellmates.
So the Savannah lady says she can't wait for when he's locked up. That's not going to happen if we don't have proof. This is why I said investigations is very important. You need evidence. We can say he's guilty. We can say whatever we want to say, but without proof, Joe is going to walk. And if Ashlee's family is not fighting, you can forget about it, fam. Ain't nobody going to fight but their family. The family of Ashlee are the only ones who can pull the plug on Joe. Unless the FBI got involved and they like, look, something definitely is wrong about this case. We're going to get on this one.
Is for Ashlee Jenae. Thank you, Savannah, for saying that. Once again, my theory on what happened on April the 8th is I feel like Ashlee and Joe were in an argument for a few days over something that each other found in their phones. Either Ashlee was doing something with somebody, some celebrity, something was in her phone, and Joe.
You told us the other day that Joe would not be jealous or whatever because Ashlee phoned, and you said the same thing vice versa, that Ashlee wouldn't be jealous of Joe if she found out he had a woman. You're all over the place, bro. You need to make up your mind and get your story right.
I'm mad. Or Ashlee found out, well, we have found out that Joe had other girls, side pieces in Tanzania, and she got mad. Somebody got upset. There's a reason why they were arguing. But you don't unalive somebody for cheating. I think that during the argument, Ashlee said something to Joe McCann about his business. She knows his secrets.
What do you mean she know his secrets? What are you talking about? She know his secrets. No. They only known each other for 1 year. What secrets? If Joe is a multi-millionaire, you just think that Ashlee just knows all his secrets? No. There's certain things men keep on the hush. You're trying to switch the narrative to make it seem like it has something to do with his crypto stuff. It's almost like you are an informant, like secretly. Like you come in like a dude that's working, trying to implicate Joe in some sort of crypto investigative type thing. Like, I don't know how much they paying you to do all this, but you're not sticking with the case with Ashlee. You're all over the place talking about crypto stuff.
We know now that they were living together in Portland. We know that she was close with his kids.
We don't know if she was close with his kids. We don't know that. We don't know that. Where's the video of Ashlee with his kids? I'll wait. Where's the proof? Where is it? Did the parents say that? Did the family say that? Is her friend saying that? Did we see video with Ashlee and Joe's kids at the amusement park at Disney World? No. We don't see it. So why they keep publishing that?
We know that this wasn't just dating or just for Instagram. When you are living with somebody, they know things about you.
You don't know things about somebody in 1 year. You don't. If you really think that Ashlee and Joe knew each other, you're wrong. You're wrong. 1 year, they don't know each other. They don't. They don't. And they weren't even married. So once they get married, everything changes. It's something about when you say I do, everything changes. You see what I mean? They weren't with each other long enough to know each other. When a man and a woman come together, it's years, man. You still learning about each other. Years and years. Some people have been married 10 years. They still don't know each other. Some of y'all now learning things about the person you with. And it probably been like 15 years. You now learning about things about them that you didn't know before. Some people keep secrets to themselves. Some people don't tell you everything about going on. Sometimes you could be with your partner and they start telling you how they were molested when they were younger. You never knew that. You've been with each other 12 years. They never told you that. Some of you guys probably with a woman, every time y'all get intimate, it's like she start getting nervous and start doing weird stuff. You're like, what the heck is going on? Why she treating me like this? Come to find out, she's still dealing with some trauma from when she was younger. She got sexually violated. And even though she might be in a relationship with you, it brings her flashbacks. Every time you do certain things to her, it brings major flashbacks. Everything comes back to her. And she looks at you as though you're the predator. And y'all had that conversation. She finally opened up to you. And now she's probably able to overcome her issues that she dealt with when she was younger, because now you're talking about it, you know? So to believe that Ashlee and Joe knew each other fully in 1 year, he's with her kids, celebrating holiday seasons, going to the parents on Thanksgiving. It's impossible, man. All of this stuff didn't happen in 1 year, man.
And Ashlee was the type of person to not be timid.
That's
a
lot.
I played you guys videos. Ashlee was a no-nonsense type of girl.
He's just making that up as he go. To say that Ashlee was a no-nonsense girl is not the truth, because he don't know her personally. You listen, social media, you won't know a person until you meet them in the real world. You know what I mean? You meet people in the real world, you start to see how they really are, how they really live behind the scenes. You get a better understanding. A lot of times on social media, people perform, people have a certain image, persona, they act a certain way, they do certain things, and you think they perfect, like their life is flawless, they never make mistakes, they never have no issues. And sometimes when people get offline, all they do is cry. You got some influencers that when you see them online, they're beautiful, they're attractive. Some of these ladies, you look at them, you're like, man, she got the world, she's so attractive. But when she get off social media and she's home by herself, she's crying, alone, lonely, sad, got other issues, family issues, all sorts of stuff going on. And they use social media to cope with the things they dealing with in the real world. So a lot of people, man, on the outside, they look one way, but you don't know what they're really going through on the inside. You know, sometimes some of y'all go to work, you go to your 9 to 5, you pull up, you clock in at the Chronos clock. You know what I mean? Your coworkers be like, hey, good morning, so and so, you good? Yeah, I'm good, bro. And you not good. But it's like we're trained to act like we good at all times. Like me personally, when people ask me, hey, yo, Ringo, you good? I be like, nah, I'm going through. What's going on? Bro, I don't got no food, bro. You know what I'm saying? Or, bro, I got these bills, man. Man, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? I ain't with all that fake stuff, man. Like, yeah, I'm good. Because sometimes you might miss your blessing. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes your blessing showed up and you said you good. So people like, oh, oh, all right, you good. You see what I mean? But a lot of times people be going through a lot, and because they look good on the outside, you assume their life is perfect, but they're unhappy. Do you know some of the most attractive women or some of the most handsome men that you might think they got the world in their hands? A lot of these people be depressed, lonely, sad, got all sorts of issues, and you would think they're perfect. You know, a lot of times you guys, you be complimenting women. Them compliments don't mean nothing to her. Hey, baby, you so beautiful. Hey, girl, you so fine. Girl, I'm telling you, you're the world. In her mind, she's like, all these guys do is compliment me. None of them ever ask me how I'm doing. They just focus on what I look like. You got some women like that. They already know they look good, but that's all they hear. And nobody ever asks them how you're doing, like, or what do you do for fun? Or, hey, have a great weekend. It's always, you so fine, girl, you look so good, girl, your hair, I mean, oh my God, you're so sexy. Tired of hearing that mess. Makes them miserable. But when it comes to the situation with Ashlee, I know that woman did not take her life. Nah, she didn't take her life. Something went down. Joe knows what it is. So it's the burden of proof is all on Joe. Joe right now is supposed to be telling the world what they were fighting about, because that's the $1 million question. That's why I said whoever's Joe's attorney, whoever he is, he's probably giving him the worst possible advice, because I don't think Joe understands how social media work. Social media, man, is a beast. Once the people don't like you, you're good as cooked. Very difficult to make social media feel sorry for you when you never showed no remorse or no empathy towards Ashlee. It can be brutal. They will not forgive you. They will not forget. They will hold you to the fire. That's why I said with Joe, the best thing he can do right now is have an interview with somebody and basically talk about what went down. You know what I'm saying? What happened? What's the real story? He need to use his resources to get the camera footage from Zanzibar. He need to be going to work. He need to prove his innocence. That's the only way at this point he would be, what's that word when you get cleared in court? Not exonerated? I'm not sure. But I think that's the word. I'm not sure. But right now, he needs to be trying to clear his name. And the only way he can do that is he would have to be providing the evidence that he had nothing to do with Ashlee's death. Because if he can prove it, then the public, no matter how much we say whatever, he proved his case. If he got the footage that show he didn't do this and he didn't do that and he wasn't there at that door, and it's like, it don't make no sense, man. No sense to, like, he got to be doing his part to make the public know that he ain't hiding. But I don't see it. He been hiding all these weeks. For weeks, Joe been hiding. So the public already decided. Remember, the court of public opinion, you know, they're the judge, jury, and executioner. They don't play. The verdict has been in already. Joe is guilty. Case closed. Black woman, they saying she unalive herself. That's not normal, especially with usins. See, that's another thing. With usins, we don't unalive ourselves. We don't do that. That's another thing, man. We don't do the unaliving stuff. You know, we don't do that. We don't go out trying to do mass shootings and stuff like that, even though there have been situations where you have black folk that do that, but we don't do that. You don't see a bunch of black youth going up to a school, shoot the whole school up, kill all the students. We don't do that type of stuff. You know, we don't do that. We don't unalive ourselves. We don't do that. And a successful woman unaliving herself, traveling the world? Nah, she ain't do that. Ashlee traveled. Think about how many places Ashlee must have been traveling around. Why would she end it? What could be so bad? You know? And then on top of that, they said she hanged herself on a door. It didn't happen, fam. It's not possible, guys. I told you, in order for her to hang herself on a door, somebody would have had to drug her, right? Or knock her out. They had to do something and then set it up and let her hang while they walk out the room and go somewhere else.
You get into an argument with her, you piss her off, you cross her, and she ain't gonna hold back.
That's a lie.
I believe that Ashlee did not hold back April the 9th and said, yo, you continue doing this, or if you continue doing that, I am gonna tell your hedge fund guys, I'm gonna tell your crypto guys, I'm gonna tell them something about you. I'm gonna tell them about you stealing money. I'm gonna tell them about you running a pure Ponzi scheme.
This is all gossip, because how could Ashlee tell somebody when she don't have their contact? It's one thing about white men that you got to understand something, fam. A white man that is used to dealing with money and he got big investments, a lot of people that he deal with, those personal contacts is on lockdown. Nobody got access to that. They don't play around with their contacts and their colleagues when they do business. I'm talking about big money business. They don't play with that. Ashlee don't have no connection to that. You know, she don't have access to that. So how could Ashlee be threatening Joe? That's what you're saying. You're gossiping. You're speculating about what you think, but that has nothing to do with the case. Because again, the story says that Ashlee unalived herself. You're suggesting that Joe murdered Ashlee because she knew something about his investments and his money. Like, I'm listening to that mess and it don't make no sense. None of that makes sense. What's the point of getting engaged only to kill your fiance because she said something about money? This is bigger than that, fam. This is bigger than that. What I'm seeing, guys, and this is exclusive Ringo TV. What I'm seeing here is that Ashlee pretty much was in the same room with Joe, and even somebody that was in my comment section mentioned this as well. They were doing having some sort of intimate role play, sexual acts, BDSM type fantasy, and it probably involved somebody choking, some rough sex, whatever the case is. And for some reason, she fell unconscious and she wouldn't get back up. She's unresponsive. Joe panicked. She still had a pulse, but it's like she was out. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. And for whatever reason, Joe knew that she's going to pass away, and he set the whole thing up as if though she hung herself, left the room, came back, said, hey, I found her like this. Let me notify staff. They came in, took her in, she gone. And the way it's set up, it's to make it look like he didn't do it, you know? Because again, for them to say that she took her own life and he's not fighting against that, but agree with it, that is telling me that there's some foul play. A fiance that loved his woman would not be agreeing that she took her life. That's like, you're a man, you go to work, you and your wife, y'all been with each other for 2 years, nothing but good stuff. You got 2 kids, and all of a sudden they say your wife unalived herself at work. I'd be like, bro, that's bullshit, bro. I just kissed my wife this morning before she went to work. We were making plans on what we're going to be doing with the kids after. There's no way she did that. A man that have a wife, that know his wife, is not going to agree that she took her own life. So for Joe to agree with the official story that she took her life, that means he got some involvement with that, man. Because he's supposed to be fighting for her justice. He's supposed to be against that. I'm like, hell no, not Ashlee. She loved my kids. Ashlee would never do that. You know? So it is what it is, man. This guy's talking about this crypto stuff. This is not making sense.
I'm going to tell them something. And that is when Joe snapped. Joe has maintained his innocence, and Joe is a grieving fiance. Let's not pass that until we have more facts. Now, I know what I think I believe, and you know what you think you believe, but until we have more evidence and facts, Joe is trying to maintain his innocence out here. And if you're trying to maintain your innocence and you just lost your fiance, you would think that some of his family members would be here. We also know that Ashlee was close to Joe McCann's children. I am going to tell your hedge fund guys, I'm going to tell your crypto guys, I'm going to tell them something about you. I'm going to tell them about you stealing money. I'm going to tell them about you running a pure Ponzi scheme.
That's what he's putting out there. He's doing this, guys. He's trying to imply that Joe had a Ponzi scheme going. That had nothing to do with this case. I don't know who is paying him to say these things.
Tell them something. And that is when Joe snapped and said, you're done. You know too much. Because Joe is a crypto guy. He's a money guy. And that is what I think happened. Y'all let me know what you think about TMZ. Let me know what you think about Joe's new PR campaign. Let me know what you think about what you think happened April the 8th. Let me know in the comment section below. But the most important thing is, please be aware over the next couple of days, this new PR campaign that Joe and his people are pushing out there. Normally, it starts with 1 or 2 things, and then they pause and they check the temperature and they see what's going on, and they come back with a second wave.
No, that's what you do. You publish a video, you see how your viewers respond to it, you check the temperature, and then you come out with another video with more lies. That's what you do. You're projecting what you do on Joe at this point. You know? It's crazy stuff, man. But that's pretty much that. You know, I wanted to pretty much get that info out there so that we can pretty much talk about this issue. But we're gonna hear more. We're gonna see more that have to do with this, man. Because this case is interesting, man. It's like it's always a new turn, a new video. And what is the family doing right now? Like, what are they saying? Because again, the mother didn't respond to Joe. And that opens up a new can of worms because again, even though we believe that Joe is guilty, right? Even though we believe Joe is guilty, Joe is alleging that the mother of Ashlee ignored his message and left him on red and never responded back. If that's the case, then they got some apologizing to do because they published in the media that Joe didn't reach out to them. Joe said, I did reach out to them. I did text. She never responded back, left me on red. So he basically said, I just didn't respond no more because it's like she ain't text me back. That could be the reason why he stayed quiet, even though I don't agree that he should stay quiet. He's spinning that right now. So I don't know, man. For Joe to be talking now that Ashlee's funeral is over, and keep in mind, the funeral might be over, but they never put Ashlee underground. So when is she going to be underground? What are they waiting for? Where's the autopsy? Where's the autopsy from Africa? Where's her phone? Where's her personal belongings? Her luggage? Shoes? Where's it? Nobody knows now, right? Anyway, guys, appreciate everybody stopping by. I think this was another good one. If you like the content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Let's get the likes to 1,000, guys. Tell a friend about Ringo TV. This is the #1 reactionary channel on YouTube that cover these type of crime stories. We do a very, very thorough job. We brought out so much information, guys. So much information. You would think my video discovering that her phone was tampered with, that would have 1 million views. Where's the viewers? Where are all the people that ask for content? I've literally showed you guys. Ashlee's cell phone was compromised. What are y'all gonna wait for somebody else to talk about it before you give me my flowers and say, wow, Ringo, you're right. Somebody did tamper with her phone. Yeah, Joe did. He's the only one that would have access to that phone. You see? But we're gonna get up and out of here. I gotta get something to eat. Got a long day. Got a lot of work I gotta do today. Gotta finish a lot of work. Had a lot of rain. And I gotta get to work again. So hopefully have some good weather today. I can do what I gotta do. So that being said, guys, y'all have a blessed one. Do what y'all gotta do. Shout out to Azandra, I see you there. Says great live, Ringo. Have a blessed day. Night, everyone. Shout out to LaShawn. What is that? LaShandra. Shout out to you. Says thanks for sharing, Ringo. It's Hollywood movies which have people thinking that a person has to be suspended off the floor. I have rarely ever seen that in that word, the S word. I have attended. It's rare. And the lie detector says, Drake Jr., you're a liar. Yeah, that I don't know. Drake Jr. is, I don't know. Guy's weird. But appreciate everybody stopping by. Drive safe if you're on the road. In the hustle and bustle, do your thing. It is what it is. D4 says, appreciate for getting this story out, Ringo. Shout out to you for stopping by. Destiny Child says, thanks for all the information, Ringo. Hey, appreciate everybody coming through. When we have these shows, I'm always motivated for the turnout of people that show up. A lot of people been showing these videos a lot of love, and I appreciate that. You know, because these grifters on YouTube, they're lying to you guys, man. They lie to you every day. And it's sad because viewers eat it up and they don't even know they're being lied to and manipulated. You know, hopefully you guys see the value in my work and see that I'm sincere with what I talk about. So y'all go in peace. I'll catch you on the next video, guys. Stay safe out there. Drive safe. Shout out to all my truckers on the road, FedEx, UPS, DHL, United States Postal Service, Amazon. Shout out to all the workers out there in the factories. You know what I mean? Everybody that do gig work, working at the hotels, the drive, parking lots, you know what I'm saying? Doormen, the valet workers. Shout out to all you folks that are out there in the late night hour doing what you got to do. Appreciate you guys tuning into the videos. Again, if you're on the road, man, hey, don't fall asleep. Go to the rest stop if you tired, man. Don't be out there driving and you passing out like this. Don't do all of that mess. Don't do that, man. Find the nearest rest stop, rest up, get something to eat, get an hour or two in, then get back on the road. So you can meet me for the next show. I'm out. Y'all take care. Peace.